right after I got my lease, there was another city commission meeting where they were talking about firing Peter Iglesias, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm sitting there, my name is mentioned all the time. Fritz Franz Bierhaus was me. I didn't want to talk. It was not me to decide if the manager should be fired or not.
Like, what did you have to do with that?
Fritz Franz Bierhaus comes up all the time.
Right.
The situation with the beer house was resolved. And my friend tells me, Tom Wertz said next to me, he said, don't say anything. Don't get up. I said, look, they're talking about Fritz Franz Bierhaus. So I got up and I went up and I spoke in front of the city commission.
Oh.
And I said, no, I was very calm and collect. I said, listen, I'm here today not to tell you what you should do, to fire or not fire the city manager. But the city manager lied on TV about Fritz Franz Bierhaus. The city manager told everyone that I owed the city money. Now I'm going to show you something. There's $1, Mr. Manager. Do I owe you money? He didn't say anything. Mr. Manager, do I owe you money? Does Fritz Franz Bierhaus, does he owe you any money? He said, it's not my turn to talk. I'm asking you a question. Does Fritz Franz Bierhaus owe you any money?
And you're doing this publicly.
And this is national television.
Oh, my God.
Not national, but local television.
Holy shit.
And he says, no. I said, why would you guys lie on TV? Right? And then I said to the commissioners, ladies and gentlemen, it's not my turn to tell you what to do. But this gentleman there, city manager, did not do his job. And that was it for me. So I get up and I get out and they're taking a break. Anderson, vice mayor, is behind me. And she tells me, you have no idea what you have just done.
Hey everyone, I'm Joe Rothbard and welcome to The Grind and the Glory. This is where we talk about the hustle behind the headlines and real stories behind the success. Every Thursday, we drop a brand new episode on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, and just about every other major podcast platform. This show, we keep it real. No fluff, no filters, just honest, powerful conversations with entrepreneurs, creators, leaders, doctors, actors, you name it, we've got them on the show. We talk about the setbacks, the sacrifices, the grind, and still how they found the glory on the other side. You can expect to hear stories that are going to challenge you, move you, and maybe even shift how you see your own journey. If you want more, check out our bonus clips, behind the scenes moments, and episode snippets on TikTok, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, X, and all the other social media channels. Just search for The Grind and the Glory. And if you want to connect, visit thegrindandtheglory.com. You'll find more info about the show, upcoming guests, and how to reach out. If you're thinking about being on the show, send us a message. But you got to be willing to come to Miami. That's where we film. Subscribe, share, and tap in every Thursday. This is The Grind and the Glory. Now let's go.
Well, welcome everybody to episode 9 of The Grind and the Glory. Is this episode 9? I always forget. Yeah, we're on episode 9. Our last guest was Igor Kasyanenko, which was an explosive show. I highly recommend. And by the way, I just want to say that show was rated G. He didn't talk about the shit that he wanted to talk about on the show for a lot of reasons, some legal reasons, and I totally respect that. But the Igor you saw on that show is not the Igor that I know. I just want you to know that. So I want you to watch that show again, and then you're going to see what I'm talking about. But anyway, episode 9, we're here. Before I introduce this guest, a few like housekeeping items. Our makeup artist, what's her name? Mariana, she's not here today. Mariana, she did a wonderful job, but I'm going to be honest. I think Mariana was like maybe upset at me. I don't know why. Maybe because we didn't go out on a date. I don't know what it was. But like Igor, when she put the makeup on him, she made him look like a Hollywood star. And I'm sure she's a great makeup artist. And Mariana, if you're watching, I think you're an amazing makeup artist. But maybe you were mad at me. I don't know what it was. But I looked like a raccoon on fucking the camera. I had these things under. You saw it, right, Shay? Yeah. And so, okay. It is what it is. Maybe you didn't have the right tone for my skin. I don't know what it was. I'm not saying knocking her at all. I'm just saying, Sam Dorfler in New York, you're the one that told me to get a makeup artist. you were wrong. We don't need makeup. We're guys. You don't want makeup, right? You're good without makeup, right?
I didn't expect the makeup artist at all.
Right. So I was like, you know what? Fuck the makeup. We don't need makeup. I don't need to have makeup. My skin is good. I put a little moisturizing cream on my face. We're good. Now, maybe if I have a woman, I think our next guest is going to be a woman. I will have Mariana, you will come back, and I will give you a second chance to hopefully not, do what happened last time, but I'm sure it's going to be great. So anyway, episode 9, Grind in the Glory. You can follow us on YouTube, like and subscribe. We're on Instagram. We do shorts. We do reels. What is the Grind in the Glory? Just so everyone understands. The Grind in the Glory is a show where we talk about people's grind, okay? Whether you're a chef, an actor, an athlete, a movie star, a fashion designer, a photographer, a flamenco dancer. That's another hint I'm giving you. I'm not going to give that one away. A model, whether you're a female model, a male model, whether you're a business owner, whether you own a medical device company, or whether you're a lawyer, it doesn't matter what you are, okay? Whether you're a retired athlete or you're currently still playing, or maybe you're trying to make it as a pro athlete, whatever your story is, everybody has a grind. And what I'm interested in is I'm interested in your grind. The glory will come. Some people have glory. What's going on? Are we good? Okay. Some people have their glory. Some people are working to the glory. Some people got their glory and then they lost it all and now they're trying to rebuild it again. So this show is about the grind that people go through every day. We keep it real. It's unfiltered. I don't really have a script. I study a little bit about my guests, but I really don't study. I like to see how the conversation goes. Sometimes it goes really well. Sometimes it's really boring. I have a feeling this show's going to be pretty explosive. I could be wrong, but we'll see. So with that, I want to introduce our guest for today. He has probably one of the most iconic restaurants in Miami-Dade County. It's called Fritz and Franz Bierhaus. If you've ever been, it's in Coral Gables. It's been, how long has it been there? How many years?
24 years.
24 years this place has been established. And let me tell you, as a guy who's lived in Miami now, I moved to Miami in 2023. So I've been there 23 years. In my 23 years, I have seen so many small businesses open and close. Great businesses, and not just restaurants, but just local places that couldn't survive because the cost of living in Miami was too high, the rent was too high, so many different issues. So I hate when I see a business that has a following, that people call it their home, being pushed out by local government. And I wanted to bring Harald on the show. Harald, is it Newvig or Newig?
Neuvig.
Neuvig. Okay, I want to make sure I pronounce Harald. Is it Harald or Harold?
Harald Neuvig.
Harald
or
Neuvig.
Harry or Harold.
Okay, well,
I'll go with that.
I like to be sure.
Yeah.
Harold is coming on this show. I have met Harold a number of times over the years. As I've brought in my children to Fritz and Franz, we've eaten their delicious pretzels. I've had their Wiener Schnitzel. I've drank their beer. I've had local events with my soccer team, Dade County Football Club. That place is like something, it's iconic. It's something I grew up with. I'll explain as we get into this podcast. But the fact that the city is trying to push him out is unacceptable. And we as a community need to stand up and fight. I know there has been petitions. You've probably gone to the commission. But we got to give this a totally different push because that place cannot go... cannot be removed from Miami. Other places I can understand, but that is the home. And not just that, the World Cup is coming to Miami, okay? This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. The last time the United States had the World Cup was in 1994. Soccer has grown tremendously since then, okay? I own football teams. I am a big passionate, I don't know why my phone's ringing so much. Who the hell's calling me? It's my daughter. Can I answer this real quick? Do you mind? It'll be 2 seconds. I'm sorry. Hey, baby, are you okay? I'm doing the podcast. Can I call you later? For what? I don't have the password. Baby, I'm doing a podcast right now. Let me call you back, okay? All right. Bye, baby. Love you. That was my daughter. I'm sorry.
No problem.
You know how it goes, right? Like your kids call. When they start calling like 100 times, you're like, something's going on. And then you're like, what is it? Can I have the Netflix password? Like, really? That can't wait? You know, you have to interrupt me in the middle of my show? But I love Ella. So anyway, since 94 was the last time the U.S. had a World Cup. Now it's 2026. How many teams are in the World Cup this time? I think
48.
48 teams.
Yeah,
Back then there was 24.
36.
There was 36.
Yeah, 36.
So that's a whole nother conversation. Yeah. But there's 48 teams in the World Cup. Miami is one of the host cities. They've got one of the biggest games in the World Cup, which is now your daughter's.
Sorry, that's my phone.
Now your phone's calling.
But I'm not going to answer that. I'm going to just turn it.
Well, if it starts ringing, feel free to answer. Okay. Colombia versus Portugal. I just found out yesterday. Did you know there's over 5 million people trying to go to that game?
Yeah.
5 million people.
Colombians are crazy about this already. I think this is one nation which is going
insane.
Absolutely insane about this.
Well, I don't know if you saw the Colombia-Argentina Copa America final.
Yeah, I saw it.
I mean, there was people climbing into the rafters. That was a shit show.
I don't think it's going to be saving Miami to the Hard Rock Stadium or the Miami Stadium.
I don't know, but my point is this. We're bringing Harald on the show to not just talk about Fritz and Franz and how we want to save this place, but I want to get to know Harald. I think the audience needs to understand who Harald is, okay? Where does he come from? Many of you don't know he's actually Austrian. He's not German. I didn't even know that, right? And I was like, wait, Austrian opening a German place? So I want to understand that history.
Right.
And then understand who you are, where you come from, explain everything, explain why Fritz and Franz, and then let's talk about your passion for football. Let's talk about your family. Let's talk about all that. Let's get into all of it. So welcome to the show.
Joe, thank you very much. It's great to be here.
Thank you.
I'm super happy when I have people who listen to my story, when I listen to the struggle we're having right now with the city of Coral Gables, and I make it all, bring it in perspective, explaining how it goes. So basically, let's start out. I am Austrian.
Yeah, where are you from? What city are you
actually from Sankt Agatha, which is a
How
tiny
do you say
little...
that?
Sankt Agatha, like the Holy Agatha.
Okay,
you know. It's a tiny little village. Population is 2,000.
2,000
people. So basically, we know everybody in the village.
Right.
And I grew up. I'm in a family of 10 kids.
You have 10 brothers
I have
and sisters?
5 brothers and 4 sisters.
Wow.
Yes, my parents passed away.
Your parents were very productive.
Oh yeah, they were. You know, they were cold. They say cold winter days.
Oh, what else are you gonna do?
But I tell you one thing. My parents were the after-war kids. My parents were 13 years old in 1945. Both of them.
Okay.
So they were kids right after the war, and you know, it was not really necessarily a very good time after that.
No.
So my parents learned how to live with very little, and they educated us kids the way to be.
Can I ask you
save
something
money,
about
save.
that? Let me ask you. You just said something that piqued my interest. You said after the war, it was difficult for us. What do you mean by that?
Not for us.
Okay.
For my parents.
Okay. For your parents.
Because what I learned from history and school, there was nothing. Because Europe basically was bombarded. And
Europe was destroyed.
Destroyed.
Right.
There was nothing. There was hardly any jobs. There was hardly anything to eat on there, which I think in the countryside in Austria was easier than in the cities. Right? The cities were destroyed. Countryside, not
Vienna
so much.
was bombed.
But my father had to work on the farm when he was 14.
Okay.
So there was no more school system. They had to go to work. My mother worked on the farm, basically big farms, hired all the people who needed a job. And then my father was a truck driver, and my mother took care of the kids, and we had a small, tiny farm, 2 cows, couple pigs.
But that's a nice way to live, though.
Self-sustain.
Yeah, so
my mother was an
you
excellent...
had your own milk. You had your own eggs.
Right, we had that. Oh. So my mother was an excellent cook, but she also had very few. She had no money, okay, and 10 kids around the house, so she had to take care of us. She had to clothe us, and we make sure our clothes were always clean. And when I go to the village now, the older people tell me they were proud of my mother because we kids always looked good in school. We didn't look dirty.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah, wow,
we didn't
wow.
have new clothes.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
we didn't. The clothes were clean.
Everything was
And that
clean.
was something I got to know now.
Wow,
And so, our parents installed in us kids save money, do the right thing, do the right job, study, right? Maybe not as much as I wish I had. I would have liked to learn piano, which I never did because the means were not there.
Right.
The money for the piano lessons were not there, so we didn't learn.
Why did you
any
want to
instrument.
learn piano? Do you like
I
you're a musician?
I love blues and I love boogie woogie.
Ah.
I do when
I didn't know that.
when I have a piano in the beer house. And if
Where?
I feel
I never
like,
saw it.
Right now it's behind the big screen. But if I feel like I sit down and I can play for 2 hours.
You know how to play piano?
No, I don't, but I play like whatever comes. I play the first 5 tones or 10 tones.
But you can get by.
You can, if you listen to me, you think, oh, he's practicing this new song. I do.
Oh, good for you.
know, the
so you're a
little
music.
boogie-woogie.
I played guitar growing up.
Palat
most of my life.
Puatlin, I played.
Wow. And you know, like all the great classical musicians come from Austria. I mean, what are some of the famous ones?
Well,
I mean,
Strauss.
Strauss.
Beethoven was German.
Right.
We had Haydn.
Bach.
We had Bach. We had,
Beethoven,
yeah, German. Though.
German.
We
Right.
made him the Austria.
Right, right. No, no offense. I know the Austrians and the Germans. There's like a thing there.
Yeah, let's be careful with that. No, but you know, I
I used to love when Austria played Germany because you knew that there was always a rival there, right?
It still is.
I know
It
there's a
still
rival.
is.
It's every country. Like when those two countries play against each other, there's always going to
You
be
know,
like a little
I think
rival.
the biggest event in soccer was 1978 when Germany beat when Austria beat Germany in Cordoba. 3-2. You know where the Latins with the goal,
Yeah.
That's an Austrian thing.
Is it really?
Because in 78, when Hans Krankel scored the 3-2
Yeah.
for Austria,
Okay.
eliminated Germany in the around 16.
Yeah.
Austria went home too because we had nothing to lose.
Right.
And our reporter, Eddie Finger was his name, he screamed maybe 40, 50 times, Tor, 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 Tor. I go crazy, Tor. This is what he screamed. And that's when the Latinos picked that up
And started
said,
doing
goal,
goal.
goal. This is where it's coming from.
So you're telling me
amazing.
Andres Cantor's famous chant is
Yeah.
actually from
That's
Austria?
it. It's from
Okay,
Eddie Finger.
you heard it here.
19
I'm not making that claim.
1978, Cordoba, the World Championship in
Wow.
Argentina.
Wow.
This is Eddie Fingers.
Wow. You see, I love this is what I love when I have guests. I always learn something new. I would have never have known that the famous goal
I
chant
tell you another
was from Austria.
interesting story.
Tell me.
And this is way off whatever we're going
Yeah,
to talk
yeah.
about
No, it's
today.
okay.
But
It's
you
okay.
think where the croissant is coming from, right?
France.
Of course not.
Why?
Of course not. Okay, I'll tell you the story about the croissant. Let me fix the mic.
And just so
quickly.
people know, Harald is a chef, and we're going to talk about, which is why you're probably like, why the hell are we talking about so much food?
yeah.
He's actually a chef. He's like like an amazing chef. So that's why he's got a beer house, but his meals are actually very amazing. But talk to me, what is it?
Let me talk
croissants?
about the croissant and tell you how I became to be a chef. When the second jihad was when the Ottoman Empire
Yeah.
moved all over Europe.
Okay.
They were stopped where? In the front of Vienna.
Okay.
The Austrian Habsburg military stopped the Ottoman
The Ottoman Empire.
the
Yes.
Turkish in the gates of Vienna.
Okay.
And they left all the coffee beans and everything left and they retreated. However, the chef of the general Esterhazy made, instead of the Kaiser roll,
Yeah.
he turned the Kaiser roll in a half moon,
Really?
in a crescent,
Like a
right?
croissant.
As an honor because he beat the Turkish. What do the Turkish have in their flag?
A crescent.
They have a crescent. So when Marie Antoinette married Napoleon,
Yeah.
they took the chefs, like they take now soccer players and NBA players all over the world. Marie Antoinette took the chefs, the bakers, to Paris with her.
Yeah.
And since the crescent, croissant, moved to Paris.
So crescent means croissant.
Croissant, exactly. So it's actually Austrian. It's
You're
Viennese.
kidding me.
And why is Austria so
Shay,
famous?
did you know that? First
Why
time I
is
heard
Austria
that.
so famous with coffee?
Why? I didn't know Austria.
Because the Turks left all
Colombians
their
are famous
green
for
coffee beans. They left the green coffee beans
Yeah, Turks have
in the
coffee.
fields.
Right.
Right? So the
Oh.
Austrians say, what the hell is this? This is great. This tastes awful. So one of these genius guy in Austria roasted the beans. Hence, we have roasted coffee beans now.
Wow.
And Vienna is full with coffee houses, famous coffee houses. Demel.
Oh yeah, well, now it's making sense. Vienna coffee, now I'm.
Yeah.
I just learned a bunch of shit that I
Yeah.
didn't think I was going to learn
I
today.
tell you, there's so many.
Like the croissant thing has
The
blown
croissants.
my mind.
Yeah.
The fact that croissants
Yeah.
is crescents
Crescent
because the Turkish Ottoman Empire got stopped by the Vienna
And the
army.
baker made him the Kaiserroll into a crescent in a half moon.
Wow.
Kipferl. In Austria, we say Kipferl. Okay, but the Kipferl went to France and came into a croissant.
Well, all right. So, okay, so let's backtrack a little bit.
Backtrack.
So you have 9 siblings.
Right.
You're growing up in this small village.
Right.
Like, what was your passion? Like you said, you like to play the piano. Did you ever like soccer? Were you a football?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
You know, we would go home. We didn't do our homework. We had to, but we did our homework. And then we went outside.
Yeah.
And we kicked the can.
You didn't
We
have a ball?
had soccer balls. I mean, we had plastic balls. But we played. There were 3 against 3.
Yeah.
We built some little
Goals.
goals and with wooden sticks, whatever. But we did play. And we played sometimes to 6, 7 o'clock at night until my mother said, everybody come inside.
That's the
we
old
were
days,
bleeding. We had no shoes. We played barefoot. You know, this is how
Best.
you do it.
That's how I did it growing up. My parents would kick me out of the house.
Yeah.
I would play until it was nighttime. They didn't care where I was,
Right.
as long as I came home.
Right.
And I'd come home dirty, bloody, you know, and they're like, come on, go. You got to go eat. That's how it was back in the day. So, yeah, the same thing.
Yeah,
So
we had
that's great.
I had my 2 older brothers, so I played with them, and then we had some of the neighbors came and we played together. And there was like, and then in the wintertime, we didn't have ski lifts, but we went skiing. We had not the best ski, the snow was stuck underneath the skis, but we did it.
Yeah.
We were in the outdoors.
Let me ask you, did you do, because I love the snow. Like, even though I live here in Miami, I hate that it doesn't snow here. I'm a cold weather, like, lover. You could put me in a mountain, I would be the happiest guy in the world because I love cold weather. I grew up in New Jersey, so a couple years ago I went to the Italian Alps, okay, which is the
Dolomites.
it's it's called Monte Bianco, okay. So you have the Swiss side, the French side, and the Italian side.
Right.
And let me tell you, I didn't want to leave. I was in heaven when I was in the snow, in the mountains, all those things. And I didn't go skiing, but what we did do was we were able to go sledding.
Sledding, yeah.
Did you sled a lot when you were a
course,
kid?
yeah.
There's nothing better
fun.
than getting a sled.
Yeah, sit on it and let
Sitting
it
on
go.
it, and someone pushes you, or you go flying down that hill.
know, it's
I would take my kids grew up in Miami, so they never knew the
Yeah.
snow. Well, I took them once to New Jersey, you know, and because we didn't really travel a lot, I was like, I'm going to take you guys sledding, and they're like, what are we doing? I'm like, trust me. So we went to this place. It wasn't even like cold enough for real snow. They had to manufacture the snow. You know, it's bullshit snow. But it was cold. It was like 30 degrees. So we go up, and my daughter's like 4 years old. And I'm like, she's like, Papi, what am I doing? I'm like, don't worry.
Yeah.
And I kicked her.
Exactly.
And I kicked her down. And she goes flying down the thing. And she gets stuck in the middle of the hill. And my ex-wife is like, oh my
can't
God,
do it, yeah.
my baby. You know, and everyone's running to save the 5. And she's looking
Yeah.
around like,
No,
I don't know,
no.
I'm having fun. I don't know
It's
what's
great.
the problem.
It's great for the kids to learn all the elements. And so I took my kids over to Austria.
Yeah.
And they were outside, and James would come in without the jacket, and like, oh, this is so much fun. Red cheeks,
Red
and
cheeks, the
frozen
best.
hands, and all. But they need to learn this. They need
And
to-
when you came inside, did you have a fireplace in your home?
No, we didn't.
you didn't? Oh.
We had this old ovens who had the special tiles who heated basically that one room. Bedrooms were not heated.
So you
or
grew up
anything.
poor. I mean,
Yeah, I did.
You grew
Not
up pretty poor.
I would never say I grew up poor.
Right.
Because
But
my parents took care, but we were not.
you were not rich.
We weren't rich. no.
Okay.
We
okay.
weren't rich.
Okay. So fast forward, you're playing sports. You're with your brothers, your brothers and sisters, right?
Right.
Okay. You become a teenager.
Right.
What's your passion?
In Austria, once you finish middle school, basically, you have to make a decision what you're gonna do. And studying
What,
costs
7th,
money.
8th grade? What grade is middle school there? 8th grade?
Yeah, ninth grade.
Ninth
is
grade.
finished,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. So what? So what did you
when I
do?
was 14 and a half, I had to make a decision what I'm going to do. Do I want to go on to school, which I was not good enough and I didn't like it. I didn't like to study. So we all take apprenticeships.
Yes.
And I would say 90% of Austrian young people take apprenticeship. You learn a trade.
Yes.
Still the most
It was
important
the same
thing.
way for like my father in Poland. He grew up and when he finished middle school, he had to take an apprenticeship. He became a machinist,
Yeah.
a mold maker. So he went to study to become a machinist and mold maker. So same thing in your.
My decision was either a carpenter
Uh-huh.
or a chef. I like to eat. I like to cook with my mom. I didn't want to go outside to work with my dad, like my other brothers did. So I stayed inside and I cooked with my mom, and I loved it. And I said, okay, that's what I like to do. I had no
Were
idea.
you a heavy set guy? when
No,
you
I
were
was
young?
actually skinny.
Oh,
I
you were
was
skinny,
really
but
not-
you liked food. You
I
liked
like
food.
to eat and I like to work inside the house.
Yeah,
I was kind of like, don't give me a shovel.
I think you sound like very artistic because you play piano, you like to cook. Those kind of people, I think, are usually very creative people. You know, very passionate people, right?
Well, I
I've
think-
never met a chef that's not passionate. You know,
I think you have to.
you have to have passion.
Because if you're not passionate as a chef,
Yes.
then don't even start. I
Right,
think
right.
it's one of the main things because putting the food on a plate, you have to have a passion to do it right. And don't, my motto in the restaurant still is today, don't serve what you don't like on the plate. Don't serve it.
Right.
Is on that the passion comes in there. The passion of getting up early in the morning, go to the kitchen and organize the kitchen if the night before was very busy. That's all part of, you have to love it.
So did you learn cooking from your mother? Is that how you learned?
No, I didn't because I was not that interested with 12, 13 to learn from her. I just cooked, maybe I made a cake or I did what I like to do.
Right.
I actually learned cooking with my apprenticeship then. And my father used to go to this place in a shopping center where they had a cafeteria. They did a dining restaurant with an open grill.
Wow.
And they also did food for about 500 factory workers around that area.
Okay.
So he talked to the restaurant owner and he said if he has a job for me as an apprentice. And they did. So I went there for an interview and they said, yes, you can start the apprenticeship and this is involved. And you really don't know nothing.
Right.
You have no idea how to turn on the oven. This is different than from your home.
Yeah,
So you do your 3-year apprenticeship.
Okay.
But the good thing about our restaurant was there were about 12 chefs. And you learn from a lot from each chef.
That's
And
amazing
then we had
experience.
first
you
year
got.
apprenticeship, second year apprenticeship, third year apprenticeship, and then you have the senior chefs. And so we learned a lot. And our apprentice in that restaurant, they always won the chef's competition for students.
Okay.
Me too. I also won. In my third year, I won the Austrian chefs competition.
So they had a
That's it.
competition for chefs.
How to cook, how to present, how to do that for chefs.
Okay.
For
For any
apprentice.
kind of meal?
For apprentice. This
Okay.
was way before he had top
Yeah,
chefs.
yeah,
and
yeah.
This was apprenticeship. In the third year apprenticeship, you go on, you have an Austrian national competition, you cook a 5-course meal.
Okay,
Right?
got
And then
it,
they taste it and see how the presentation is, everything.
Okay.
So I was in a team competition. We came in second behind Tyrol. Of course, Tyrol is number one.
Who's
Tyrol
Tyrol?
is the tourist destination, Austria.
Okay.
And Vienna.
Okay.
And then we were up Austria was not.
You'd
So
be
we-
surprised. A lot of people don't know.
we
lot
came
about
in
Austria,
silver,
so-
and then the single chefs competition I won. I won the gold, which was very good for me. And I know I'm passionate. I like to do this.
How did you feel when you won? Were you like,
I
this is
feel
what I
great.
want to do?
I feel great, but I finished my apprenticeship. I started to, I worked in another place then. And this is what you do. Once you finish apprenticeship, you go somewhere else to get more knowledge, different cooking, different
Were you getting
techniques.
paid or no?
No, the pay was nothing. Apprenticeship was like, in my third year, I got $160 a month.
A month. Wow.
That's-
Wow.
You're done.
But you don't care. You're just
This is
enjoying.
apprenticeship.
Yeah. You're still living with your family at this point, or
No, I had my place in close by where the restaurant was because it was an hour away. And then there was no buses going. And so,
How much was the rent back then? If you
yeah,
were
there was
making
like, I
100
think I paid like $60 or $80 a month.
And the rest of the money, where'd you spend it on?
Yeah, traffic, the buses,
Were
the
you
train.
a party guy? Did you like to have
No,
fun?
not really. Yeah, I would go out because, in the restaurant business, you work different hours.
You worked late at night,
yeah.
right?
Well, no, I didn't. At this restaurant, this was in a big shopping mall.
Okay.
So it was closed at 7 o'clock at night.
Okay.
That was the good thing. But I was never really, I didn't smoke, I didn't drink until I was 19.
Okay.
So I started very late.
Yeah.
But I did go to discotheques and dancing and things like that. We did.
Yeah.
And we spent a little bit, but we basically spent the money we had saved.
Got it. Okay. Okay. All right. So you finish your apprenticeships.
Right.
You're living about an hour away from your village. Then what happens?
Okay. Then you decide what you're going to do next. So I wanted to go work in a seasonal hotel restaurant, which is
To
south
make more
of
money.
Austria.
To
make more money. And now you're working nights.
And what year is this?
There was 1977.
1977. I was a year old.
I did apprenticeship 74 to 77.
And how old are you at this point? You were
In 1977, I was 20.
you're 20 years old.
Yes,
Okay.
19.
Okay. All right.
So
now you're in the south of Austria.
Yeah, south of Austria. Do the seasonal restaurant. Very good.
Yeah.
Fantastic restaurant.
By the way, just for the audience, you're probably looking at these bottles here, right? So I always like to bring some kind of drink for the show. Some people like to drink, some people don't. Surprisingly, I had these Ukrainians on. They wouldn't drink. Well, Artem didn't drink because he was in the middle of baller league, so he had a game the next day. But Igor was like, "Oh no, I don't drink." I'm like, "Bro, give me a fucking break," And by halfway through the show, he's like, "Okay, give me some." I gave him some tequila, and he had some tequila on the show. And we have it there, right? So I was like, "What am I gonna bring for Harald?" And I'm like, I'm going to go get a good German beer. But I had training with my team this morning, and my schedule was crazy. So I didn't have the proper time to stop at a liquor store and buy. I went to one ghetto liquor store around here. I'm like, do you guys have anything German? And the lady didn't even speak English. She's like, ¿qué? I'm like, okay. I'm like, cerveza, Alemania. And she goes, no, she showed me like an English beer. I'm like, no. I said German beer. Do you have anything? And then she goes, I go, Jägermeister? And she goes, no. So I left. So I parked and I went across the street and I'm like, okay, let me find a spot. So I go into this restaurant thinking I see a full bar. I'm like, okay, they've got to have schnapps. They've got to have something German. And it's a Mexican restaurant. And I'm like, I go to the owner. I'm like, do you have anything German? And she goes, no, we're a Mexican restaurant. I've got Mexican vodka. I'm like, I don't want to bring him Mexican vodka. I'm like, okay, give me a good beer. So she's like, I want the most unique beer you have. So this is a beer.
I've never seen it actually.
You should try it. It's actually very good. I'm having some. It's delicious. It's called Charro. It's a premium Mexican Pilsner. So
Pilsner, yeah.
So I bring a German a Mexican beer. No offense, man.
Yeah, but, I have all the German beers you need.
I know. And if
next time we're gonna set up the whole thing.
Yeah, I know. So anyway, so shout out to Charro and their Mexican beer, which is delicious, by the way. Okay, so
Austria.
So
I'm doing the seasonal job.
You're
right?
doing the seasonal.
So
right?
and then I decided, okay, it's 79. What I'm gonna do next? I finished the season, the summer season. I'm gonna go to Switzerland.
Okay.
Right? I have a friend there calls me. Look, this hotel is looking for a chef. So I go there. I worked in Arosa, fantastic ski resort.
La
high
Rosa.
up in the mountains.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that sounds beautiful.
Beautiful high up in the mountains. Only basically the roads are always snowed in.
Oh,
they take the train up. So
that's
it's really
a dream.
I did a winter season there, and then I went to Lake Lucerne in the summertime. Another in a French restaurant, and
that's in Switzerland, correct?
in Switzerland, yeah.
Oh,
the thing with the Austrian apprenticeship, chef's apprenticeship in Austria, in school you learn the French techniques, you learn French cooking. And at home in the Austrian restaurants, you learn the basic from Austrian regional cooking, right?
let me ask you a question.
Roasted pork, sausages.
Let me ask. There's a lot of foods I like, and there's foods that I'm not so crazy about, and maybe I'm not educated enough or I haven't eaten enough of French food. But I don't like French food. It's not my taste, Do you like French food?
Love it.
You do.
Yeah.
What's the classic French dish? Because
I tell you my favorite, beef Wellington.
beef Wellington.
Beef Wellington.
Wellington. Beef
Wellington, yes.
Okay.
French, right? Classic.
Okay. I
Duck
think
à
I've had
l'orange.
beef Wellington.
Duck à l'orange.
Okay.
Classic French.
Okay.
Goose liver. Filet mignon rossini.
Goose liver?
Filet mignon rossini is a filet mignon with a goose liver sliced on top of the filet mignon and the sauce poured lace. When I'm telling
You
you,
like it, Shay? Goose liver?
goose liver, soufflés.
I'd rather have the horse from the Kazakhstanis.
Soufflés, potage is the cream soups. They're fantastic. The French cuisine is, I think, the original one, escargot.
Yeah, escargot,
Right.
obviously. Yeah.
Sauce.
Maybe
Sauce
I'll get heat for this.
espagnole.
The
Then-
French food, I don't know. Like, and now you're
Escoffier.
telling me they don't even make their own croissants. It's freaking Austrian.
The story
That's like
of-
shocking right now. Like my dog, I would bring croissants. I'm like, I'm going to the best French bakery to get you croissants. Now that I know this, I'm gonna go tell my kids. You know, these aren't even French.
Is that
They're from
French,
Austria. She's like, what? I'm gonna throw them for a
it's
loop.
good. No, I tell you, when you, and I love sauces
Yeah.
from scratch.
Sauce. Okay.
Sauce.
Like a hollandaise sauce.
Hollandaise. Look at the hollandaise alone.
Yeah.
It's a fantastic sauce.
Yeah. Yeah.
You put it on the filet mignon.
Yeah. It's
Absolutely.
amazing.
Right?
Amazing.
So the fish, if you make a nice poached fish or with the sauce hollandaise on it.
But Germans don't. Oh, I'm sorry, Germans. Austrians, do you eat a lot of fish?
No, we eat trout, sander, perch, things like that. Yeah, not a lot.
Because typical,
we're not
typical
surrounded.
cuisine from, let's just call it Germany, Austria.
Right.
What would you call that? The Ottoman? What is
Yeah,
that?
you know, we have the influence for the Austrian-Hungarian Empire.
Okay.
So, Czech Republic,
Czech Republic.
Hungary,
Yeah.
Slovenia,
Is Polish-
Slovakia,
Poland in there?
Poland, yes. We have that influence. So
Right.
we have the Hungarian spice.
Yes,
Right?
okay.
We have the chicken and the bovril tačkal from the Czech Republic. Right? And Jewish food
Okay.
is very similar to that whole Habsburg region. If you gefilte fish,
Yes.
or you have the chicken.
What about potato pancakes?
Potato pancakes, right?
Right,
The
yes.
Germans are. I'm not fond of it because it's a lot of work to make it. If it's good,
My
if you
father
want it
used to
good.
make potato pancakes when we were small all the time. He would to make me. He would show me how to make the potato pancakes. I'm like, I don't want to make these fucking
You know
pancakes.
what's the problem with the potato pancakes? People here take it out the freezer, put it in fry, and serve it. Disgusting.
Yeah, no,
Absolute
we made
disgust.
it from scratch.
I tell you now, everybody out there, how to make real potato pancakes. You peel a potato, right? Then you shred the raw potato. You add sour cream, a little bit of salt and nutmeg, and then you fry it in a pan in butter. This is it.
I'm getting
this
hungry.
is the best potato pancakes you can have. Latkes,
Latkes,
You
yeah.
know, they do it right. I love the chicken in what is it called? The boiled chicken. That it's a very famous Jewish dish.
Matzo ball soup?
The matzo ball soup,
Yeah.
but with the chicken and the vegetables.
Oh, yeah.
Fantastic.
A good matzo ball soup is
you have
like
matzo
hard
ball.
to
We have
find.
Grießnockel in Austria.
Yeah.
Very similar. We have liver dumpling. You know, this is regional.
We used to eat a lot of liverwurst when I was a
Leberwurst,
kid,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I remember my mother, who's Cuban, okay, would make because my father was Polish, and he'd be like, make him liverwurst. It's good for him.
Liverwurst sandwich.
And I would be the only kid in school eating fucking liverwurst.
You know, but we had Leberkäse in Austria.
Yeah.
Leberkäse in Austria is in Austria today what a hamburger is in America. It's
Yeah.
our street food
The
in
liver.
a bun.
Wow.
It's our street food.
Yeah.
And when we go on the train from Linz to Vienna, it's only 1 hour 50 minutes. We stop at the Leberkäse shop. My wife from Colombia and I, we stop and eat one of the sandwich. This is our what the Americans have. The
We're
burger
gonna
with
talk
the
about
Leberkäse.
Colombia in a
There's
little bit.
so much food, and it's for me.
I'm so hungry right now.
There's a restaurant in Vienna. It's
Let's
called
go eat after.
La Juta. They make the best boiled beef in the world.
Boiled beef?
Boiled beef with all the trimmings.
Really?
Okay, you know the picanha?
Yeah, picanha.
You know picanha. In Austria, we boil that.
You boil
And
it.
the soup gives us the beef consomme,
Oh, yeah.
right?
Yes.
And then
yes. When
we
you,
eat it with a chive sauce, sour cream,
so
mayonnaise.
like beef
chives
bouillon, all that
with
beef stock is from boiling the meat.
boiling beef. And the French
Right.
original recipe for consomme, 1 kilo, which is 2 pounds of beef, to 1 liter
Wow.
of 32-ounce water. This is how you make a fantastic beef consomme, a good soup, no packaged stuff, you know.
So next time I go eat at Fritz, I'm going to ask you for something that's not on the menu.
Well, if we have the ingredients here, no problem.
Yeah. Interesting.
So,
Okay,
fast forward to
fast forward.
Switzerland.
Okay, so you're in Lucerne, Switzerland now.
Right. Now I'm like, I get a job offer by the hotel to stay there for the year long.
Yeah.
Because they liked what I did. I said, no, I would like to see the world. So what I'm going to do, in Switzerland, very simple, you get, it's called the Union Helvetia. It's a newspaper. You get that, and there's like job offers in there from all over the world. And this Union Helvetia paper is specifically for hotel and restaurant industry.
Business. Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So what I do is I go home, I say, where am I want to go? I have no idea where I'm going to go.
Do you have a girlfriend at this point, or are you by yourself?
Not, but really nothing fixed.
Okay.
You have the friends.
Right.
But so I go and say, let me find out where I'm going to go. The way I did it, okay, I close my eyes, open a page, point the finger and say, okay, let me see. Sydney, Australia. Okay, doesn't look bad. Okay. Sydney, Australia, write down the address. Okay. Next page I open. Okay, let me see. Tokyo, Japan. Okay, let's go there. 2 more pages I do. 4, I said. I've got to do 4. All right, next page. Hamburg, Germany. I love Hamburg.
Oh.
Boogie Woogie.
Yeah.
You know that the Beatles recorded their first album in Hamburg at Jimmy's.
Wow.
Yeah, another thing you learn today.
I lived in Hamburg for 1 year when I was in my modeling days.
Hamburg, my cousin had a hair salon there, so I used to go when I was like 12, 13, 14 years.
That's all the way in the north part of
loved
Germany.
It. Hamburg loved it. So, Hamburg, Germany. One more. Okay, I do one more. Next page, open up, put the finger, Miami, Florida.
Huh.
So I have 4 places to go.
You have 4 choices.
Right. I sent my resume to all 4 of them.
Okay.
Okay?
Or your CV.
I get 4 yes back.
All of them?
Yeah, all of them.
Wow.
And so I decided I'm going to go. No, how did I decide? Okay, now I'm going to decide where I'm going to go. So I write these 4 cities down.
Okay.
Piece of paper, roll them up, put them in the jar. And the one I pick, I'm going to go. Because I really was open. I picked Hamburg, right? So I go to Hamburg for the interview. The general manager from the hotel is Austrian.
Oh, shit.
And we immediately had the camera was there. We clicked.
Yeah, you clicked.
And I said to him,
it's your brother, right?
I said, I'm going to go 2 more weeks to Austria, my vacation, and then I'm going to start. And he said, we need you already. I said, no, I need I just finished the job. I like to go home for 2 weeks. So I go to Austria.
That's balls. Like you got a guy offering you a big job, and you're like, I got to go take my vacation?
Yeah, but I had 3 other jobs, right?
Yeah, I know, but still, that's like very, I don't know, like how young were you at this point? You're a young guy.
I was 19.
You were 19.
Yeah.
You got a job offer from this place in Hamburg. Were they like a big place or no?
But I was already 5 years in the industry, don't forget.
Yeah, but you're 19.
3-year apprenticeship, you learn a lot.
Okay, fine. Okay.
So I'm like, the guy says, okay, go 2 weeks and then come and start. So I go to Austria. 3 days later, the phone rings. Miami. We need you right away.
Who needed you?
La Paloma from Biscayne Boulevard called. Miami called.
Okay.
And
what was La Paloma? I don't even know.
La Paloma was a tiny little restaurant across from the Omni.
Okay.
Where
And they wanted an
15th
Austrian
Street-
chef?
There was the La Paloma was a Swiss restaurant.
It was a Swiss restaurant.
Yeah.
See, teach me history because I'm not from Miami, so I don't know.
See, with me working in 2 Swiss places, you send the resumes.
So other Swiss restaurants find out about you.
This is because I sent them the rest. This is one of the restaurants I applied.
Right. So it was a Swiss-owned restaurant in Miami called La Paloma.
La Paloma.
And it was just
So
a restaurant?
I
Was
sent
it
the resume when I
Okay.
sent the 4 resume out.
Yeah.
So when I was in Austria, they called me. They didn't write. They offered me the job before, but then they called me again and said, listen, we want you here. So
In Miami.
I decided
Wow. Hamburg, Miami, Hamburg.
Germany, America.
Right.
It was big at that time for me, America.
Everybody wanted
Even
to come
though I
to
didn't
America.
speak the
Those are the
language.
days of Rocky and
So-
best times.
I called the guy in Hamburg and said, listen,
Brother. I got a better offer. He's going to be like, you just told me you had to go home for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Now you're not going to take the job?
Right.
I would have been
So
pissed.
on the video, I signed a contract in Hamburg.
You signed the
They
contract.
make you sign a contract, yeah. And if you don't show up, you pay 3 months of the contract.
So you broke the contract.
But I didn't break the contract. I told the guy what I wanted to do. If he would leave me out of the contract, release me. He said, yes, I am understanding. I would do the same, he said. Cool guy.
Nice guy.
Right? Nice guy.
So
I
you went to
packed
Miami?
my suitcase, all I had.
What did you have? Like not much.
Not much. Clothes, knife, chef's knife, you know.
I read somewhere you came to the U.S. with like $50.
Yeah,
Is that true?
that's true.
$50.
Yeah, I'll tell you how I got the $50. So I'm on my way to Linz. My father drives me.
What
to
do your
Linz.
parents think that you're going to America? Are they like, oh,
Well,
how do they
because I
feel?
already was in Switzerland and I already was 3 years away from home.
Okay.
Of course, my mother cried and my father. But it was like, I'm the first kid who is going abroad.
Yeah.
And me working in Switzerland, that was already a big thing for our family.
Right.
None of my siblings are anywhere out of Austria.
Oh, they're still all in Austria?
They're all still in Austria.
Oh.
So I was the first one.
Wow.
So I'm on my way to my
You were
father
like
drives me.
you were like an explorer. You wanted to go out there and see the
I was
world.
I was different.
Yeah, you were curious.
Yeah, because
which is great.
I went to Hamburg and I always thought Hamburg was an international city. So Hamburg for me was a big influence.
How far is Hamburg from where you were?
It was a 10-hour train ride.
It's like going.
900
It's like going
kilometers.
from Munich to Hamburg.
Train,
it's the
yeah.
same thing.
Yeah.
I I drove to Hamburg.
Yeah, me too, a couple
I actually hitched a ride back when you could hitch rides in the 90s. I hitched a ride, and some nice guy picked me up, and we did a beautiful drive. I think he got me to halfway, and then I had to hitch a ride with somebody
Oh.
else, and I drove, and I got to see all of Germany. It's
Yeah.
a beautiful trip.
You're
I'll never
straight to
forget.
all of Germany.
It was about
right?
9 hours it took to get up there. Yeah. So Miami, La Paloma gives you a job offer.
Right.
You say, I'm going to Miami.
going.
How did you get the $50?
Good story. So I'm on the way to, my father drives me, and then I get off the car and he said, there's 1,000 shillings, which was $50, right? I had about, I don't know how much I had. I think maybe I had about $200, right?
Yeah, you were working.
Yeah, but I didn't.
You save any of your money?
No, not really a lot.
Yeah, that's true.
Because
When I
because
was
had to
when I was young, I didn't save
bought
any
my
of my
own.
money
I
either.
bought my own plane ticket.
Ah, good for you.
Yeah, it was like that was quite a lot. So I did that. But then I said, my dad, I don't need it. I have enough money.
How
I
much
think I had
was a
500,
plane
600.
ticket back then?
I mean,
How much was it a plane ticket back then to go from, I guess, where did you go from? Vienna to Miami, or how did you get
from Linz to Luxembourg.
Litz to Luxembourg?
Luxembourg with the train.
Okay.
And from Luxembourg, I flew with DC-8 Iceland Air to Freeport, Bahamas.
Oh, wow.
And from Bahamas with Air Florida to Miami.
So how much was all that? Like,
I can't remember, but
No?
it was. I'm sure it was still a considerable amount of money here.
yeah, a couple $100 probably.
It was more.
More,
But
really?
I think it was like, I was thinking $500-600.
Wow.
Yeah, no. It
Now
was a
that
lot of
trip
money.
would cost
So that
you
was all my
several
savings, but I said I'm gonna do it.
Yeah.
So I'm on the way on the train. I arrive in Luxembourg. Want to pick up my one suitcase, my life. Right, it's not there.
Where is it?
So I go to the station. Say, "Where's my luggage?" I'm on the way to America. I need it. They looked at me and they said, "Looks like it went the other way to Yugoslavia."
Oh my God.
I can't remember how I reacted, but I had no choice but to just leave it because
So you had no clothes?
I had no, I had nothing. Everything I had was in the suitcase, right? So I'm going to Miami. I'm not going to let that stop me, right?
So you just had the clothes on your body to
Right.
go to Miami.
Right. I had
all
all
your
the-
underwear, your
everything
shirts,
was
your
there.
socks is in
So I gave
Yugoslavia.
I told
which
him what
today
it
is not
looks like,
Yugoslavia.
what it looked like, and say, "This is the address I'm going to. Hopefully, you guys send it to me afterwards."
Yeah, right.
So really. So I have no more. I have no recollection how I got from the train station to the airport because I don't remember how that was. So somehow I'm sitting in the plane and I meet this guy Harry, sitting next to me.
Harry.
Right, Harry.
Okay.
He lives in the Bahamas.
Okay.
So he's telling me a little bit about everything. Oh yeah, and by the way, we did stop in Shannon, Ireland.
Shannon Island.
Shannon.
Okay.
The plane
Shannon
stopped
Island.
and then
Okay.
flew
Okay.
on
Okay.
to Freeport. And he said, you need to try Guinness because we had to stop and get off the plane. And I said, I don't know. Guinness, never had it before. So I had my first Guinness and I tried, I didn't like it.
Yeah, it's very. It's a
Needless
very
to
dark
say,
beer. Yeah.
A half a year later, I'm meeting my wife, my first wife, which is from Northern Ireland.
No shit.
Guinness would be So I'm on to Bahamas. We fly to Bahamas. I take the plane to Air Florida to Miami. There's a guy from the restaurant picked me up, and I'm starting to work there, La Paloma.
Wow.
I tell you, it
You
was.
still didn't tell me how you got your $50.
Yeah.
Did I miss that?
Well, I had a place to stay,
Okay.
and I had a job.
You had a job.
So I
Okay.
didn't need anything.
Okay. Wow.
Right?
Wow. And the suitcase?
The suitcase came 3 weeks later.
Oh, good. So you got the suitcase
I bought a
eventually.
couple of underwear. I
Right.
didn't need much. I bought some chef's clothes and stuff.
Yeah.
like this.
Yeah.
So it was not so bad. And then I worked in this place, which I didn't like because it was not
La
what
Paloma.
I expected. I was not expecting that.
What was wrong with it?
Yeah. I don't want to say too much, but it was not the
Are
cleanest
they still
place.
there?
But no, it was not the cleanest place. It was so much work. It was hot. I lost a lot of weight at that time. I was skinny, and it was really ridiculous, the whole thing. And then I talked to the owner.
Isn't
said,
it
"Look,
hot in the kitchen though?
yeah,
I
yeah,
mean,
but you have. I wasn't used to the climate. It was all.
right.
It was all new for me.
Well, yeah. So, by the way, Shay, is there any way I can get a little more of this? It's so good. The charo. Do you have it? Is there any more there, or are we empty? So, thank you, man. I appreciate it. Oh, you
So
have to
the-
try this
the-
beer. It's actually really good.
Listening
Mexicans
to
did
the
this right.
people who work there.
You
told-
want some, by the way?
No, that
Oh, okay.
maybe later on.
All right, okay.
The people who worked there told me, look, no chef stays longer than 3 weeks in this restaurant. So I knew this was a high turnover restaurant because a lot of business, not enough help, and you work your
You work your ass off.
your
yeah.
ass off.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I never quit a job before. When I say something, I do it. I do it. I'm still like today. Okay, if I say I'm coming, I'm coming. So I worked
Amen.
there.
That doesn't exist anymore.
I worked there 5 months, and I had to work with one person. The guy was sweating so much, and he was limping, and he was just, I could not see this anymore. He was like not clean, not healthy. And I said to the boss, I said, look, this is ridiculous. I need 2 chefs in the kitchen. I cannot run this. I did 300 dinners a night. So fast forward 5 months, the last day in that restaurant, the restaurant had only like 60 seats.
Okay.
But we did like 300 dinners on a Friday, Saturday night.
Wow.
Unbelievable. Started at 4
Busy.
o'clock till 1 o'clock in the morning.
High volume.
Always busy, always busy.
This place was on Biscayne Boulevard in Miami?
Was on Biscayne Boulevard, Miami.
Wow.
In the 80s. So I Saturday night, 1:30 or 12:30, I make coquille shark, and at 10 o'clock, the lights go out.
The power went out.
Power went out. So I told him, okay, we have to wrap it up. He said, no, we have gas ovens, there's some flashlights, the restaurant is full, you need to serve it. I said, this is ridiculous. And I finished. So the last dish.
These bosses sounded hardcore.
I tell you, the last dish, a Swiss guy, hey, Werner, the last dish, coquille shark. And on the bottom of
What
the
is coquille shark? I've
it's
never
like
had of
a
that.
sea scallops in
Okay.
a creamy sauce.
Okay.
But we have the shells where we put it back in.
Right.
And in order that the shell sits flat on the plate,
Okay.
we put mashed potatoes underneath.
Oh, nice.
So it looks good. It looks really nice.
Right.
It's a very fantastic
Yeah.
dish and everything.
Okay.
So it comes back. Man, it's like 1:30 in the morning. It comes back. And the waiter comes, what's wrong with you today?
They brought the food back.
Yeah, they complain about the food.
What did they say?
Maybe took too long. Of
Okay.
course, took too long.
Right.
So he tells me, like, what's wrong with you? The food is not. I said, Werner, I've never quit. But the apron right here, this is all yours now. I quit. But I
wow.
stayed in his home.
No shit.
I had the
so
car
you were
from-
living in his house.
Yeah, I had the car from his maitre d'.
Oh wow.
So I
That had
was
to be
kind of
weird.
like,
that was awkward.
so it was all awkward. It was a big story. So I left. I drove around town. I slept in the car.
Wow.
Right? And on Sunday morning, I go to his house, and he said, you need to go back to work. I said, no, I'm not working. He said, I'm going to call immigration.
He's going to call immigration on you.
Yeah, I said, you're supposed to, I said, you're supposed to have my papers already done. I'm not even sure you already applied for the paperwork and everything.
Oh, my
You call
God.
immigration, you can do it, but I cannot work for you anymore. It's so I left. And, of course, was homeless, right? So I stayed with my girlfriend at that time for a couple of weeks, and I was looking for a job. And I was always a guy, hey, I'm an Austrian chef, worked in Switzerland, but I don't have my paperwork to work.
Right.
So I couldn't find a job. So Friday morning, I said, if I don't find a job today, I'm going back home.
Back to Austria.
I went to the whole Miami magazine, all the restaurants, applied them almost everyone, and I get to the restaurant Vintons in Coral Gables.
What's it called?
Vintons.
Vintons.
Wow, with a V.
Okay.
Vintons. Very fine and fancy restaurant.
Really?
So I go in there, I tell him my story, and they said, you worked with Rüdiger at the sports hotel in Narosa? I said, yeah, that's a fantastic place, the owner said.
So they knew it.
So I said, can you get me the paperwork to work? And would you give me a job? He said, absolutely. That's where I stayed.
Wow.
It was the last restaurant.
So, wow. So,
There
and that was in Coral
It
Gables.
was in 1980s. I arrived January 22nd, 1980, I arrived in Miami, and this was like 5 months later in Coral Gables. You know?
So 1980, we're in 2026.
Yep.
That's like 46 years ago.
I'm going to make this very short, 26 years.
No, but 46 years ago
Yeah.
was actually when you started in the Gables. That's
Right.
very interesting. Okay,
Yeah.
and how did the Vintons thing go?
Fantastic.
Really?
5-star restaurant,
How long were you
gourmet
there?
restaurant.
How long were you there?
I was there 2 years. And then I did my own restaurant. I started my own restaurant in 83.
Which restaurant was that?
It was in the towers of Key Biscayne.
Okay.
It was called Harald's.
Harald.
It was called Cafe Vienna.
Cafe Vienna.
Most famous customer was Marcel Bravi, the intendant of the Viennese State Opera House.
Wow.
No, we had very, very high-end clientele. He loved it. He wanted to open a restaurant with me
So
called
how was it
Puccini.
like in the 80s opening a business in Miami?
Well, I opened my first one in 83. It was basically what I wanted. I needed to find restaurants which had already been a restaurant, so I don't have to build the septic tank and the grease trap.
Right.
Which is
You wanted
most
the
expensive.
infrastructure
Yeah.
first.
So the Cafe Vienna was not difficult because it was a restaurant in the towers that didn't ask rent. They just wanted somebody to run it for them so that the people who live there have a nice restaurant.
Well, hold on. Did you call it Cafe Vienna, or did it already you
No, I
bought
called
Cafe?
it. I started
you,
Cafe Vienna from
You
scratch.
started it.
Yeah.
Okay.
They loved the Viennese idea. I did Viennese cooking. It was
Wow.
really beautiful.
How long did you have that business?
I think I had that 3 years.
Let me ask you a question.
And then after 2 years, I opened up Old Vienna on 79th Street.
Old Vienna in
That
Miami
was
Beach?
independent now. Old Vienna was on 79th Street, shitty neighborhood actually, right next to a bait and tackle shop. you
Oh,
know.
wow.
It was very tough, but I had this customer, Peter Clayton. He used to be the food critic for the Miami magazine,
Wow.
and he was Viennese.
Oh.
And he absolutely adored Old Vienna. And he made me a superstar at that time.
He
I
would
was
write,
like,
he would write good things about
I
you.
would like, full page
Oh, good for
write up
you.
in the Miami magazine as
Yeah.
the
Let me ask you a
young chef
question.
from Austria.
And I'm jumping around a little bit here, but like being a restaurant owner in Miami, you see all these restaurants open and close all the time. Talk about that for a minute and just give me like a summary of that, because I would think there was a time in my life where I was like, man, it would be so cool to open a restaurant. You know, I'm not a cook. I like to play around, but I'm no chef. I would hire these people, but I always said it's such a volatile business, and you see so many open and close. So I mean, do you agree, right? The restaurant business is extremely volatile. Like you could be trending one year and then the next year nobody wants to eat your food, right? So that's a very risky business to get into, right?
I think for the restaurant business, consistency is the main word, and
Yeah.
the quality. A customer will forgive you if the service is not 100%.
Right.
But they're not going to forgive you if the food is not 100%.
Amen.
And I think it's the backbone. And with me being a chef I always control the food first.
There's an interesting analogy I have to that. You know, I work in healthcare, and a lot of my clients are doctors, surgeons, and, you know, just like in the restaurant business, reviews are critical to the success of your business.
Absolutely.
If you don't have 5-star reviews, if you're not featured in the magazines, well, for doctors, it's the same thing. If a doctor doesn't have 5-star reviews on their website, on Google, even on Yelp, you know, Yelp is more for restaurants, but if they're not listed that, and what'll happen is someone will go on and they'll write a 1-star review, but they don't write it about the doctor.
No.
They write it about the staff was rude.
Yeah.
The office manager made me wait an extra 30 minutes. Nothing to do with the actual clinical part.
Exactly.
And I, right away, when you said that, that made me think about the restaurant business. If you got a 1-star review, it's one thing if it's all, my waitress was mean, but it's another thing if they're like, the food was bad.
Right.
That's a very
that's it.
powerful review. That can
That's
kill
it.
your business.
Yes. Then
right?
you might as well clock up. Okay?
Yes, yes.
And I think specifically in Coral Gables, we are not a tourist.
No, no.
If you're not good in Coral Gables, you are not there.
Right,
And
right,
Coral Gables maximum you have 2 years
right.
to get the shit straight.
Yeah.
If you're not there in Coral Gables, if your food is not consistently good and you do a good job, you are just not there. And that's why it's so much turnover in Coral Gables.
So much,
You
so
know?
much.
I remember in the 80s when I started at Vinton's, we had 3 or 4, 5 French restaurants. We had a Hungarian restaurant.
I'm trying to
This was
remember.
all-
I'm trying to remember like the restaurants that I know that are still there. I think Cafe Abbracci's still there,
Abbracci
right?
is still there,
Abbracci
yeah.
has a name.
Chris-
Graziano's is still there, but they're like a
Well,
chain.
Graziano came way later.
They came later,
Way
okay?
later. Christie's.
Christie's is still there. That's your phone. Yeah, go ahead. Morton's Steakhouse.
Well, Morton's came much later.
It came later,
I'm talking about the 80s. Yes.
right? Well, what are the restaurants from the 80s that are still there
Well,
in
hardly
the
anyone,
Gables?
you know.
Hardly any, right?
Hardly anyone, yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I look at
yeah.
I look at in South Miami. I'll just as a comparable, right? I can't tell you the number of restaurants that I have seen because I live closer to South Miami that I've seen close down. Dan Marino used to have a restaurant right
Yeah,
there in
I
Sunset
remember.
Place.
Yeah.
That closed down. The only place that has survived that I've seen is a place called Deli Lane Sunset Tavern. They have been there forever, and now they're about to move because they're doing some construction or everything. But if you look at every restaurant, there's one place which is an awesome place called Fox's
I've
Lounge.
been there.
You've been there.
I've been there. Old
Such a-
Foxes. I've been at the old Foxes.
What a cool place
The
that is.
depot was there. Remember the depot? The
The depot, yes,
That-
yes. So, but everywhere else closed.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm just like, nothing in Miami stays
Well,
open.
you know what? Because there's no more family restaurants where mom and pop work on it and they work to survive.
Hmm.
Restaurants, and people think, oh, they're full, they're making so much money. No. We if
Look
you
at the
really,
Cuban restaurant like Versailles,
Versailles,
right?
yeah.
They've
La
been there.
Carreta,
La
Versailles.
Carreta.
Yeah.
They've been there forever,
Yeah.
right? You got Havana Harry's in Coral Gables
Right.
next to
Been
a
there
very
forever,
dear friend
yeah,
of
they
mine,
shown about
John
it.
Nort. Yeah, they've been there a long time. But you start to look for these places,
Yeah.
and you don't really see.
No,
You see all these new places popping up, but the old traditional restaurants are just all fading away.
Right.
You know, and it's so fucking sad because I remember as a kid, it was all about Sundays going to that family restaurant, having that family experience, you know? You can't, there's nothing better than that, you know? And I think we lost that today as a society, which is, and we'll get into Fritz and Franz, but, okay, so you have Cafe Vienna. That's
I
doing
opened
really
up
well.
Old Vienna on
Okay.
79th Street, and that didn't do so well. I mean, we had great clientele.
Probably because of the location, I would think.
Location. Miami Beach mayor would come to us. Bill Ashley Mercedes would come to us Christmas party for Mercedes-Benz of North America.
Wow.
And he had to block off the street because it was a 3-lane this way, 1 lane this way. It was a terrible restaurant. So I decided I had violin players in the restaurant. It was Old Vienna. Was
Beautiful.
fantastic.
Beautiful.
It was the right restaurant in the wrong place. So there's a lady from Coral Gables drives up every week to my restaurant. And she comes up to me and tells me, Harold, I want you to move. And this is now, we're talking 1985.
85.
85.
Okay.
She says to me, Harold, I'm going to buy you a restaurant in Coral Gables because I like your food. I like the way you do things. Please come to Coral Gables. And Harald just happened to have this beautiful write-up in the Miami magazine, Superstar Harald, right?
Okay.
Top chef at that time.
Okay.
And I tell her, thank you very much. I know what I'm doing, right?
Like
So
telling her
yeah,
no?
like I know
don't
what I'm
need you.
doing.
Like-
I had no clue what I'm doing. I had no clue that she really wanted to buy me a restaurant, and I had no clue that I could have arranged something with her.
So you were almost
Okay.
like arrogant with her.
Yes.
Okay, got it.
It was
okay.
my,
Wow.
because I was the big star in the Miami magazine.
Yeah.
Right?
Your head got
so
big.
I know what I'm doing, blah,
Right,
blah, blah.
right,
So
right.
and then 6 months later, I realized, fuck, I'm trying my best thing, but this is just not working because of the location. So I'm calling her back.
Now you're humbled.
Yeah. I say, I'd like to take you up for this opportunity. And said, Harold, you're kind of like
You're
insulted.
$1 short and a day
Yes.
late.
Yeah. So obviously she told me that. The word arrogant was so absolutely nailed it. Because I was thinking that I know everything. I didn't know nothing. And it took me from 1985 to go to Coral Gables in 1993. 8 years, almost 9 years
To get there.
to go to Coral Gables to a restaurant. So, but I also realized that I'm not going to be surviving on Piston Boulevard and 79th Street. So I sold the restaurant, and I sold it with a profit. And
Good.
then I said, wait a minute.
That's a win.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
There's money to be made in selling a restaurant, not so much in working so hard, but selling.
Right,
So I've looked for locations which were run down. The landlord wanted to rent it, but the restaurant existed basically. One of them was the restaurant on 5811 Sunset Drive in South Miami. There was a sign in the window for rent. So I go inside, I said, what are you guys doing? Well, the partner from the restaurant owner cleared out the restaurant, took everything. Tables, chairs, ovens, refrigerator, everything.
No shit.
And we're renting the place. So I said, I want it. Right? And who is the landlord? So I called the landlord. I said, "Look, I'm interested in the restaurant. And where's all the equipment? He said, well, we have it. Because the guy who was the partner gave it to the landlord to be not sued.
Right.
So we have it. You want it back? I said, yeah, I rent the place. I want all the equipment back. And I started Harald's in South Miami.
No shit. So you were in South Miami.
I was in South Miami.
Where? On
5811.
5811 Sunset Drive?
Yep.
Where's
It was
that building?
Edwin Biner's shop was next door. The
glasses.
sunglass shop.
Yeah.
It was right next to us.
Oh, you're kidding.
Yeah.
And
then
it was called Harald's?
Harald's. And I went to Napa Valley and I ate at Mustard's. Fantastic restaurant. So I did the same kind of thing. Harald's had a similar menu, a little modern cuisine, American, Californian cuisine. I did that.
And
Right?
did you have some Austrian dishes thrown
Yeah,
in?
of course. I had
Okay,
to. I had to
okay,
do some.
okay.
So and then across the street opened up a diner, and they had lines around the building because their portions of food was this high. So I said, "This is ridiculous. They're having a line and we are empty, right?" And nobody knew Harald did. So I sold that restaurant after 2 years. And what I did is I put the price in the paper as $125,000
For sale.
turnkey.
Right.
And I sold that one. And then I just found restaurants which are a pub, whatever I found.
So you became like a restaurant.
Yeah, I came like
Broker.
I found a place in the Grove, a sushi place.
You fix it up and then sell
I fixed it up, turned it into a pub, Pronto Pub.
Yeah.
I sold it. I
for you.
opened Presto Pub in South Miami. I sold it. And then I got back into the Gables. I bought the French restaurant, and I forgot the name. But I bought that restaurant, which was then, I made this Mozart Stube, a typical Austrian.
It's a
Right.
stew?
Mozart Stube, like Stube, comfortable room, and Mozart everybody knew. So I combined the comfort of classical music.
Mozart Stube.
Mozart
That was the
Stube.
name of the restaurant?
Yeah.
Wow. And was it like what? they play-
Alcazar.
You
was it?
played classical music? I'm not
Yeah, we
following.
did. Everything was Austrian.
But it was a restaurant.
Wooden panels.
Oh, wow.
Comfortable seating, like a living room in a farmhouse in Austria.
wow.
And we did the Austrian, the Wiener Schnitzel with veal, and we did the trout and all this, the liver dumpling soup. We did all of this, right? And then I started the events. I started Oktoberfest. on Alcazar. At that time, I blocked off the street.
Where was this? What street was this? Was in South Miami?
Alcazar, no, it's Coral Gables.
You were in Coral Gables.
Yeah, Alcazar Avenue.
On Alcazar. Okay, okay. So you
Right.
started doing Oktoberfest.
I did Oktoberfest.
Let me ask you a question about Oktoberfest, because isn't that a German thing?
Yeah.
But you started, you're Austrian.
I want to
right?
do events.
You
I
wanna
want
do
to do
events.
fun events.
Right, right.
Selling beer, bratwurst.
Right, right.
That was it.
Right.
So Oktoberfest is very traditional in Munich. I didn't want to be traditional. I did kind of like the après-ski parties. You know?
Yeah.
Fun, young,
Oh, man, that's
energetic.
cool.
You know.
That's cool.
And
That's
we had models serving as waitresses.
So
in
let
the
me
theater.
ask you, I'm just curious. Do you have a lot of German friends?
Not a lot. You know, when you're 67, you don't have too many friends anymore.
No, it's true.
Because if you have like 5 friends, you're good.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I have a lot of German acquaintances. I know a lot of German people because I used to be part of the German community. I
mean, look, I thought your restaurant was German.
No, yeah, but we have more people who have traveled the world and know about Germany than we have Germans. Because I tell you one thing, Germans in Miami, they live mostly in Miami Beach, right? And they're not necessarily hungry for German food. And you know why I said German?
Why?
Because Americans or people in Miami don't know Austria. They know Australia.
Right.
They think we have kangaroos. We don't. Okay? So automatically, I make it easier
I
for
think I went to
everyone.
Austria one weekend when I lived in Europe, and I had an amazing time. It was a lot of fun. We were living in Munich, and we drove to Austria. We had a fantastic time. But you're right. A lot of people don't know Austria.
Right.
And that's the irony here is that
Yeah.
Fritz and Franz Bierhaus,
Yeah.
from the outside, you're like, oh, that's a German place. It's not German.
Yeah.
It's actually owned by an Austrian.
Yeah, it's
You know,
true.
that's the ironic thing about
But
that.
the other thing is also the
But
soccer
then you have
team.
then you have like a Bayern following at that church. And
There's
you're
a
like,
soccer.
right.
There's no, I would say, the Premier League is the best league in the world.
Yes.
Okay, then comes the Spanish league.
Yes.
And then it's the German league.
Correct.
Austria, we are good in skiing, but we're not necessarily good in soccer.
You're getting better,
We're
though.
getting better.
Austria
yes.
is much better now.
We're getting better, but people just don't know Lars Klintz, which is Austrian champion this year.
Yeah.
Or they don't know Wacker Innsbruck. Or they
No.
know
If you ask me,
Yeah.
name me 5 famous Austrians, I couldn't even tell you.
Right.
Right. Because it's just not,
Alaba is maybe the most famous.
yeah. But I mean,
Yeah.
it's
No, but it's true. So we went with the German theme in soccer. We're successful because Germany, the national team of Germany, you can count on the money if they would go to the quarter and semifinals.
that's right.
Every
That's right.
World Cup,
That's
every
right.
Euro.
That's right.
And
Well, look,
so,
when it came to Europe, so just my history. When I was young, when I finished high school and I went to college, I was playing at Rutgers, soccer, football, right? But I also had this very interesting opportunity to do male modeling. Okay.
Okay.
I was discovered in New York. I went to work for the biggest agency in New York. I didn't know anything about that business. My father, he was like, "What are you, gay?" He's like, "What do you want to be, a model?" And he wanted me to be a football player. And that was my goal, was to be a professional football player. And he goes, "You're gonna fucking go on magazines? Like, what's the matter with you?" Like, he was old Polish guy, And the same thing,
modeling is unheard
yeah,
of.
my mother was like, "I want you to be a lawyer or a doctor. What is this fucking?" She's like, "Get the birds out of your head." I'm like, "No, I get to travel the world. I get to make all this money."
Yeah.
So when I started this thing, I was like, I was very rebellious. I was just like, "Listen, you people are just too close-minded. I'm gonna do it."
Yeah.
And I'm like, "I'm not gay. I like women." I said, so I go and I sign with this agency in New York. They send me to Hawaii. I shoot a big job in Hawaii, and then they send me to Milan. In Italy.
Oh.
So I get to walk all the runways in Milan. I'm doing big magazines in Milan, and then they send me to Munich. And this is before the Euro. It's when you had the mark.
Right.
So I get to Munich,
The Deutsche Mark.
and I made so much money in Germany. I was on Mädchen magazine, which was like a famous kids magazine. I was on the cover.
Bravo. Remember Bravo?
I was in Bravo. I was like with 2 Hungarian girls.
We all had Bravo.
All the kids. I was with 2 Hungarian girls. And obviously I had a lot of fun back then. I was going to all the nightclubs in Munich. I became friends with everybody in Germany. I was like a little superstar in Germany. I was an American in the 90s in Germany.
Americans are very well liked.
Well, we used to be well liked.
Yeah,
now,
not
not anymore.
Yeah, right.
But back then,
I have to have my flag at the house.
My cheat code, any country, if I wanted to, get with a girl, I'm like, I'm American. They're like, whatever you want. You know,
right.
That's how it was.
Right.
If you were an American, like, you don't understand that.
Very well liked all over.
We were so well liked. I got into any nightclub I wanted, any restaurant I wanted to, just because I said I was American.
Yeah.
And then, of course, I was a model. So, like, I had the extra benefit. So, but when I was in Germany, we talk about the money, the mark. They would pay me like to be in some catalog, 1,800 marks per day.
Amazing, yeah.
Back in 1995.
Yeah.
Think about that.
Yeah, it's a
Every
lot of
day
money.
I was booking those jobs. So I was making so much money. Now,
I remember
of course,
when the mark, we had shillings in Austria. We were like 2 marks was a lot of money for us.
yes. So I was making crazy
Cigarettes
money.
were 2 marks, You know,
So I don't know. We kind of lost my train of thought. But what were you talking about?
that we're German, that we basically always went.
Yes.
The Fritz Franz, we went always to be German, then
Right,
Austrian.
right.
But yeah, I'm
So how did
Austrian.
Fritz and Franz start? How did it start?
Okay. Actually, when I had Mozartstube, right? I was looking, and I did the Blues Fest already
Yes.
on Alcazar Avenue. Like I did Oktoberfest, I did Blues Fest.
Okay.
It never really made money because blues is different than beer drinking or Oktoberfest.
right.
But, I love the blues.
Yeah.
I just wanted to do it, and I've enjoyed it tremendously.
Do
So
they
I said,
have Oktoberfest in Austria?
No, we don't call it Oktoberfest.
What do
we
you
have
call
kind
it?
of like Wiesenfest, or we have like a Street Fest or Garage Fest. We do all kinds. But Oktoberfest it's just the last 10 years, it's starting to also get big in Austria.
Let me ask you a question about the beers in Austria versus the beers in Germany. I remember in Germany, we would drink a lot of Weiss beer.
Yeah.
Right? What do they drink in Austria?
Weissbier came from Austria.
It's from Austria.
Weissbier was first brewed in Vienna.
No shit.
And then the brewmasters from Munich go to Vienna.
A good Weiss beer with a
Go to
lemon
Vienna and
inside.
find out
Oh my
the summer
god.
beer, they called it summer beer at that time.
Yeah.
Find out what kind of beer they're brewing there because people are talking about it. And this is where the Weiss beer started,
Ah, I didn't know that.
So-
Another Austrian fun
I
fact.
tell you, there's so much to But and then when
Shay, do you have the can opener or the bottle opener by any chance? Yeah, thank you.
I looked for a place.
This is my lunch.
I looked for a place to do a blues club.
Yeah.
And I walked around the city
I'm gonna pour you a little bit, okay? Just a little.
and I heard about Jumpin' Java, the coffee shop
Okay.
is where I'm now, is not doing well.
Right.
Right?
Jumping Java.
Jumpin' Java's good. So I walk inside Jumpin' Java and I say, guys, I have an idea
Okay.
how to make money here with you guys.
Okay.
And one of the owners says to me, okay, we need like $400,000. I say, I don't have $400,000, but I have a great idea.
Okay.
Right? However, if you're interested, here's my card.
Okay.
Right? Call me.
Right.
So in the same evening, I get a call from Dr. Sakis Anak, an Albanian guy. He calls me up and said, listen, my 2 nephews, these buttheads, own the Jumpin' Java. I gave him all the money to start it, and now they're
Albanian.
Albanian. They're owing money to everyone.
Oh boy.
How can you and I do something? So I said, let's meet. So he said, what do you have in mind? I said, I want to do a blues club here. I do blues festivals. I want to bring live bands. I do New Orleans cooking, Beijing, all this stuff.
So you're
And I
just
want-
like branching out, doing all different kinds.
Yeah, I
of...
want to do all this.
Right.
Because during the Blues Fest, I already did Cajun cooking.
Yeah.
I already did
Wow.
New Orleans, so
Wow.
I did that. So I said, I want to do that here. And I'm going to use the plaza for the Blues Festival and the Oktoberfest. I had that already in mind.
Right.
But this is 1999,
Wow.
right?
Wow.
So he says, you know what? We owe money to the city. The rent hasn't paid. These guys owe money to the point of sale system, hasn't been paid. Half the kitchen equipment hasn't been paid, right? And I'm out $200,000. I'm ready to be sued from 5 different entities.
Vendors, yeah.
How are you going to do it? I say, okay, this is what we're going to do. You're going to lock the door today, okay? I'm going to talk to the city so that I get the lease, and I will talk to the people your Jumpin' Java owes money to, and I will take over these lease payments
Wow.
for the equipment
Risky.
and all this stuff.
Very risky.
And I said, he said, how much money do you have? I said, I have about $40,000. I said, I can do that. right? So I go to the city, we are on talk to the city. And then the mayor liked me because I did the events already on the street.
Who was the mayor back then?
Valdez Foley.
Okay.
So I tell the city, look, I'm going to pay the back rent they owe you. Okay? I assume the lease from them. And you're going to get a good tenant because I already have histories in Coral Gables. I want to do events on the plaza, right? And I'm going to do the blues club, live music, and all these things. So it has to go to a city commission meeting. They have to decide on it that I would be good. So one of the commissioners stands up and says, Harald is financially not strong enough, which he was right. The mayor says, look, we just had a company who started with $2 million and now they owe us money, right? Harald is doing events on the street and never asked for one penny and he's successful in the restaurant
That's
business.
a great mayor.
Let's give him this place. Let's give him this
What
chance.
was his name again?
Valdez Foley. Raul Valdez Foley.
Raul Valdez Foley.
So I have a meeting with the city manager and Raul Valdez Foley, and they both tell me, Harald, whatever you do, we want this place to be busy on this side of the street. It's dead. We want you to be successful. And Valdez Foley tells me, you do on this plaza whatever you want.
Oh, man.
Well,
That's like an open ticket.
so I go back to Dr. Anak Sakis, and I said, Sakis, this is what we're going to do. You're going to be 25% part owner. I pay you $100,000 in a year, and you're still going to own. You're still going to be 25%, but the other 25% I can buy you for another $100,000. So I will own the restaurant 100%. He said that's a deal, okay?
Wow.
So after 6 months, I paid him $100,000, and the place was mine. And the reason I could pay him, when we opened Satchmo, it was a tremendous success.
It was called Satchmore.
Satchmo Blues Bar and Grill. And
Okay.
Satchmo for Louis Armstrong.
Yeah.
Right? So when we started to do live music outside on the plaza at 6 p.m. on a Friday,
Right.
and till 10 o'clock till 2 in the morning, a national touring band, Los Angeles, Chicago, New York, they stopped in my place.
Wow.
And we charged $5 to get onto the plaza, which at the top time we had $11,000 sales at the door, $5. So we had 2,500 people there
Wow, that's amazing.
on a Friday night.
On a Friday night.
From 4 in the afternoon
the
till 4 in
Gables.
the morning.
Wow.
The place was booming. We were the top bar in Coral Gables, in South Florida.
Wow.
The best bartenders came to us to want to work with us because the money
of
was
the
great.
tips, right, of course.
I had 40 employees on a Friday night.
Wow.
I had 12 cocktail waitresses. They all wanted to work there.
Wow.
We were the shit,
You built it.
right? We
Satchmo,
built-
who knew?
and then-
What year was this? What year was this?
This was 1999, 2000.
Are there any good blues restaurants
Nothing.
in Miami?
This was
Nothing.
all because I was so successful with what I did. It wasn't the blues. It was the happy hour on Friday night.
Yeah.
It was the place. It was the in place.
Right.
It was the in place.
Yeah.
And that was the whole story.
Wow.
You need to take that F out because I don't want to get sued by I don't have as much money as that. take that out, right? Promise me that?
We
Right.
will. We will.
So we were the place to be. So Satchmo went up, and then he went down. And then the promoters come. I can bring you 300 people, but I want 50% of the sales.
Is that how it works? They
I
come?
did that one time, never again.
Yeah.
Promoters are for me.
Right.
So I decided, okay, less bands, no more happy hour Friday night. It didn't work anymore. And the blues club didn't work really because Miami is not a blues town.
Right.
It was the happy hour work.
So you had your moment. You had your moment like a
So
lot
I go
of
to Vienna. I'm having dinner with the chef of the year in Austria. And I got introduced to, and we sit down and have a couple bottles of wine. And he tells me, Harald, you can do the same what I do in Austria. I said, I did study chef. I know how to do that. So I go back to Miami. I close Satchmo and I open Da Capo.
Da Capo.
Da Capo. You know what Da Capo means?
It's the boss.
One more time from the top. It's
Da
like-
Capo is the boss.
Yeah, I didn't know that in Miami.
Yeah.
But all over the world, in the concert houses, Da Capo, one more time from the top.
Oh, wow.
One more time from the top for me meant top quality, top class,
Okay.
high end.
Okay.
One more time I do it.
Okay.
Right?
This was
Backfired.
going to be your last shot.
And this backfired because number one, the name was wrong.
Yeah, the capo.
The capo is the gangster boss, right?
Right.
It was wrong. I
Right.
didn't realize at that time. I opened it up when there were two construction sites going up left and right, the buildings going up in the gables.
Oh, Jesus.
Right?
Sounds like
and
a nightmare.
it was a disaster in the making.
right.
So one Sunday morning, I'm home. I have a huge fight with my wife. I'm broke. The money I made from Satchmo went right into the next 9 months later, $400,000 later. I'm broke,
Oh, wow.
right?
So
In the
now
same
you hit-
location.
now you hit your low.
In the same location where I used to make $60,000 on a Friday night.
So let me ask you, Harold. What is? I'm always curious. Were you a man of faith, like God? Did you go to church? I mean, did you grow up with that or no?
I grew up as a Christian,
as a Christian,
but
okay.
I was never really going to church and pray that everything would be okay. I never did.
You never did that, and to this day, you're not.
No, I go to church. I get inspiration, but I'm not like the community guy.
No,
in
no.
church,
That's
you know?
fine. That's fine. I'm just curious.
I pray, but not like
So let me ask you, when you hit your low, because that was a low. Satchmo was doing amazing.
yeah.
Now you're in all this debt. Probably affected your marriage.
Yeah,
I would
it did.
assume. I'm sure it did.
Yeah, I did.
What did you turn to for strength to like come out of that?
I tell you where I got my strength down there. I was, like I said, Sunday morning, home, fight with my wife. She tells me I need to get a job. And I said, look, I haven't worked in 10 years. Basically 99. I haven't worked in 20 years for somebody.
Right. You're an entrepreneur.
I'm on my own.
Yeah.
I cannot get a job. So I'm going to the restaurant. Sunday morning, we're closed on Sunday. I go to the restaurant, I sit in the middle of the restaurant and say, what in the fucking world went wrong here? Because one Friday I make 50,000 and now I'm broke and I'm minus. I didn't own any money, but I had no money.
But that's how it is.
So
You
I
go from
take
like
this
to this.
write up from the Miami Herald, which was very good, off the wall. And I read it again. And this guy writes about me, Oktoberfest guy, Schnitzel guy. This is not matching. The capo is not what I'm. And I'm like, you motherfucker, this is what you want? You want Bierhaus? You want Schnitzel? You want bratwurst? You want the beer? Because I'm doing the Oktoberfest? You don't appreciate the Blue Point oyster bisque, the filet mignon rossini, the soufflé en chocolat. You don't appreciate that?
They don't.
And that's when my energy came back.
Then you were like,
Immediately.
beer house.
It went from depression to energy. But
Yeah.
in a seconds when I read that. And then I said, okay, if this is what they want, this is what they get. Never mind the construction. We're going to cater to the construction guys. We're going to do a beer house. We're going to do benches. We're going to do Hey, Hey, Baby dancing on the table. And we're going to sell
Football.
them papa beer and everything. So
Yeah.
I called my manager and I said, Peter, please come in. I need to talk to you. He said, it's Sunday, we're closed. I said, yeah, we are closed for good. Come in, I'll tell you our new idea. He loved the idea. And we have no money. How are we going to do that? I said, remember when people tell you over the years we had lots of followers, lots of good customers. Harold, if you do another restaurant, I want to be part of it. Okay? Investor. So I said, this is what we're going to do. We're going to call, make a list of 10 people each. You 10 people, I 10 people. And we start calling them. And we tell them the idea, what we're going to do. We didn't know about the name, but we're going to do a beer house. We know that.
Wow.
We're going to do the beer house, and we need money. And we're going to give you 5% net profit for $25,000. Okay? Are you in? Half an hour with $150,000 rest. One guy brought us the check right away that same Sunday.
They knew you had something. They believed in your
Yeah,
vision
they
because
believed in
you've
me.
done it. You've done
Right.
it before. You've taken multiple places.
The Motorstube
Satchmo,
experience, yeah.
the Vienna,
Yeah.
you've
old
done
Vienna,
this
yeah, yeah.
multiple times, and now you're like, you want a fucking beer house?
Yeah.
I'm going to give you the best beer house that you've
Exactly.
ever seen.
Exactly.
And that's what you did.
Yeah.
So go ahead. So okay, this is fascinating.
So we Peter said, okay.
you got the
I will-
investors.
Peter was a mess. We have these 5 guys, $150,000, right? And we told them, you have no right to say anything, Okay, we don't want you as a partner involved in the restaurant. We don't want you to
a lot
work
of times
here.
these investors, they want to come in, they want to
Quite,
tell you how to run the
investment.
business.
We give you the 5%.
You're the visionary.
Whenever
You've
we
got the
make
brain.
money.
Yes,
right?
yes.
And believe it or not, one of them is still in today.
Wow.
After 26 years. So
Yeah,
we
'cause
started
they come
that.
and go, right.
And how we going to make it famous? Okay, we talk the model agency. We need models, put them in short lederhosen, bikini tops, basically. Sexy German girls.
Yes.
Right?
With the big beer mugs,
Right.
with the huge tits.
And everybody had to jump, all the waitresses. When I played the song, Hey, Hey, Baby, you have to get up on the table, get the customers up and start dancing like Taverna Oper used to do. We did the same shit. We copied Taverna Oper, right? So this was like, this is how we started. And then there was this huge game, FSU versus the Hurricanes,
Yeah,
the Orange
football.
Bowl, right?
Football.
So I sent 10 of my girls, models, with
blonde.
postcards. Postcards. Fritz
In the
Franz
outfits?
Bierhaus. In the outfits.
What are those outfits called?
Actually, it was a dirndl, but without the dress. They had the
Yeah.
lederhosen.
Oh my
We made special bikini lederhosen for the girl. Sexy, sexy, sexy.
Beautiful.
Right? So we
Beautiful.
sent them around the Orange Bowl. We handed out
I
10,000
see the women that
postcards.
work in Fritz and Franz. I'm like, I know he's handpicking them.
So we started that. And we got pretty successful with that. We showed the sports already. We had TVs. We had live music. And we did the German-Austrian menu. That was it. And then we started the Oktoberfest. Right?
I didn't even know you guys did Oktoberfest.
Yeah, we did Oktoberfest, a big time. We flew in 2 bands from Austria.
You're kidding.
We did 11-day Oktoberfest. We did the Blues Fest. And we got to the point where we did like Latin Music Fest, Paella Fest, you name it.
Yeah,
Crawfish
because you're in
Fest.
Miami and like here you are injecting this Austrian German culture into Los Cubanos de Miami, right? But it works.
Yeah, it worked.
It works.
It's the events what made it so fun because the people looked forward to all the events. I think if you don't need a German restaurant in Coral Gables if you don't do anything beside it. You wouldn't survive it.
Right, right.
But because of the events we did.
That's fun.
And the mayor said, you do whatever you want on this side. And the city was very happy because we packed the parking garage, we filled it up, and we made money with the events. And because we knew how to do it right. And so we purchased the tents, we purchased everything, the bars. We didn't have to rent it anymore.
Where would you keep all this stuff? In the restaurant? Like
Yeah,
when
I
it wasn't
actually had
used?
it on the ramp in the above the restaurant.
You're kidding.
We could use that too. So and then
How big is the space? How big is that space?
3,700 square foot inside.
Inside.
And maybe another 1,000 square foot outside.
So it's about almost 5,000 square feet of space that you have, which is prime real estate in Coral Gables,
Well, it
right?
wasn't when I took it
No,
over.
when
but
you
it's
took it
now.
over, it was nothing, but now it's like the most wanted.
Absolutely.
Okay, so you're doing these Oktoberfest, you're doing these, you're flying in blue. This lady started following me. I don't even know if she is Verongi or something. What's her name? I don't know. She's like a German singer, or maybe she's an Austrian singer. I don't know, but she follows me now, and I'm like, who?
Franny.
Franny.
Franny, yes.
Who is Franny?
But Franny was one day in Miami, and I said, what are you doing? We got to know her in the restaurant. She's a singer. I said,
Okay.
I like her
She is
attitude.
German or Austrian
She's-
singer?
She's German.
German. Okay.
German. So I said, listen, would you mind coming to the Oktoberfest to the MC for me? Right? And she's fun, she's friendly, she talks to everyone, and she sings.
Yeah. Oh, cool.
Right? So she is like, Franny was like 4 years the face of the Oktoberfest. But we hired models for our magazine.
Right.
And magazine is another
What's
good
your
st-
magazine?
Magazine was the Oktoberfest, but I should have brought one.
But what is the title of the magazine?
The first Oktoberfest we did, I went to Lauda Air, Niki Lauda's airline.
Yeah.
I said, look, I need a band from Austria. Would you sponsor my event? I need 4 tickets for the band, 2 tickets to raffle off, and 4 tickets for my family. So I need 10 tickets. And I make you a sponsor at the Oktoberfest. Absolutely, we do it, right?
Wow.
What do we get?
Right.
And I'm like, well, what do you mean, what do you get?
right.
And then I'm looking at the coffee table, right? There's a magazine.
This is always what's in it for me.
Right. And I'm saying, I tell you what you get. I'm going to make a magazine like this and I'll give you the back page.
Wow.
And they said, and I give you a table of 200 people at the Oktoberfest. You have a
Who
party.
made the magazine for you?
Wait, this is something I had no idea.
Okay.
I had no clue how to do a magazine.
I was gonna say,
so
what?
I have a
You make
friend who has a
magazines?
printing shop, so I go Luis Casamayor.
Right.
I said, Luis, we need to do a magazine for the
Oh my
Oktoberfest. How are we going to do that? Well, he said, how many pages, how thick, what kind of paper, four up, color. I need a lot of information. But I told Laurie, I'm going to give him the back page. We need to do something.
So figure it out.
We made an 8.5 by 11 magazine. We had 32 pages, so 16 actually. You know, I learned a lot.
Yeah.
Cover page, we're going to do color. The inside is going to be black and
Look
white.
at you. You're like a magazine
Right?
editor
So,
now.
how much is this going to cost me? $4,000 or $5,000. He said, what? So I said, we have to start selling ads
Right.
in order to pay for the magazine. Oh my God. So fast forward, 25 years later, the magazine was like 80 pages. We made about $90,000 with the magazine alone
You're kidding.
for the Oktoberfest.
Wow.
We
And
got
you would
the
only it
bands,
would only come out for Oktoberfest,
Yeah.
this magazine.
and we give it
It was
to
a
all
once a
people
year
free.
edition. Wow.
We had 5,000 prints.
Right.
Right. We give it to all the sponsors. We give it to all the customers who want, and we keep 1,000 every year.
Right.
And it's really classy,
Oh, I wanna see
quality
this
magazine. I have
magazine.
to show
Yeah,
it next
yeah.
time.
Oh, that's
Really cool.
awesome.
So I learned how to do magazine, how to sell ads, how to get sponsors.
Wow.
And this all came together because of that one magazine.
Did you have
I
like a
had to do.
PR agency you worked with to do all this?
No,
Or
I
you
did
just-
everything myself.
You're
And
s-
I
of
never
course you
hired
did.
a
Of
PR.
course you did.
I did the marketing myself. I did the PR myself. and
Yeah,
then
you're like a chef. Like,
Yeah.
I'll fucking figure
Yeah,
it out.
yeah, you learn, and it was exciting for me to
Right.
do the magazine.
It's the
I
best.
couldn't wait until it was printed.
Right, right.
Until I smelled it in the.
Yeah.
But this brand new magazine. Look
Yeah.
at the new edition, and then the cover of the magazine was always a girl.
Of course.
So I would
The
find the
hottest
girl.
model.
I would find the girl while she had dinner. They said, "You, would you mind modeling for me for the Oktoberfest?"
But you got to wear this
Yeah, you got,
Lederhosen.
I bought 10 dirndls, and I said, try one on. Or the dirndls from my wife. I said, listen, try that dirndl on. You look good. Now, I was the photographer.
Yeah.
I was also the photographer.
Right.
And then I would hire a graphic designer, and I said, you sit here, I sit here, and I'm going to tell you what we're going to do.
At this point, you got remarried, right? You married a
Yeah.
Colombian, right?
No, that when I was married to the Irish.
You're still married to the Irish.
No, there was. I got divorced in 2011, I think.
Probably because all those models you were picking for.
No, the model was no problem. It was, I was never home.
Okay. I can relate.
100% in the restaurant.
Brother, I
business.
can relate more than you
Right?
know.
The kids and I would pick up the kids and I would go to the restaurant. The kids would do the breadcrumbs or whatever.
How many kids do you have?
I have only one left. My daughter died 2 years ago.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Breast cancer and
Oh.
complication, all this thing.
Okay.
She was very nice. Eileen.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Wow. Okay.
But it's really the restaurant business takes a lot.
Yes, it does.
Takes
It
from the
drains you.
family. And I believe now, like I always said, and because I worked in family restaurants before, my wife should never work in a restaurant. I never had her work. My first wife worked one day only in like years, because in the restaurant business, you have friction and you don't want to bring that home.
No, absolutely not.
So I was trying to be successful at home, but with me building without having the money, building restaurant business
Creates
it
a
took-
tremendous
I was
strain on your marriage.
110% in a restaurant.
Right.
And my wife always said, I'm raising the kids on my own. You
Right,
know? You're
right,
never there.
Right. Right.
Where that the kids went to Austria with me a lot, and I had some time off when everybody else was not working, you know. So, yeah, the restaurant business took a lot from my first marriage and took a lot from the kids. But what can I do? I'm a
It's your
100%
life.
guy, you know.
It's your life. You went all in.
I'm a perfectionist when it comes to the restaurant business, and it takes a toll.
It does.
And in the hindsight, I would probably do it different.
When you're very passionate about what you do, people don't see the impacts that it can have on other people.
Yeah.
Because you want to be so great at what you're born to do. And not everybody feels the same way. And some people
Right.
are like, well, what about me? You know, but I think God puts us on this earth for a reason, right? And obviously he put you on this earth to do these passions that you
Right.
have. And sometimes, you know, it's hard balancing that whole relationship between I got to be a father, I've got to be a provider, I've got to be a husband, I've got to be a psychologist, I've got to be
Right.
the plumber, I've got to be all these things, and I've also got to be the provider and a successful entrepreneur and businessman. So, you know, I meet so many guys like you that they are so passionate about what they do, and sometimes it does take a toll on the marriage. It happened in my case, so I mean, I can relate in that sense.
When I had the Mozartstube restaurant, I invited executive chefs. Al Sousa, remember him?
Yeah, of course.
I remember I invited the mango chefs, the kings.
Wow.
Michael Schwartz,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
There was from Pacific Times, Eisenman.
Him, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I invited the chefs on a Monday night when we were closed, and I would cook for them. And I told them, bring your wives. I want the wives mingle with other wives, chef's wife, because we all were in the same boat.
Yeah.
We all had the same kind of problem because we were all passionate chefs.
Yeah.
And we worked in the restaurant, and the wives had the same problems with us. So we built this chef's night once a month.
Well, that's
It was
cool.
fantastic.
That's cool.
It was really
Would
cool.
the chefs take turn cooking, or
No,
sometimes you would cook?
it was my night.
Oh, it's your night.
I said,
okay.
listen, who wants to come next Monday? I invite
Who
you.
controlled it?
But then we had a problem.
What?
Then Cisco and these big companies wanted to come in and help us. And I said, no, I don't want anybody. This is not to promote to get money from companies. And there was somebody else tried to do that somewhere else then,
Yeah.
and took it with companies, and that was it. That was the
Wow.
end of the chef's night, I called it. I loved it. It was cool. It was like the wives could understand how we all felt. We all had the same, even different levels of famousness, but we had the same kind of problems.
Yeah.
And I talked to Michael Schwartz a lot at that time, and we had great conversation. And Alan Sousa and Eisenman, we had great conversation about we have the same problems.
Right.
And I tell another story, what takes a restaurant to survive. Harald's restaurant in South Miami, which was like mustards from Napa Valley. 3 waiters and a maitre d'. Tuesday evening. One waiter calls me at 1 o'clock. He cannot come because he has to study for test tomorrow. The second waiter says he's in Palm Beach, he's not coming to Miami today. That's 2 waiters out. My maitre d' called in sick, and the third waiter never showed up.
Okay.
So, Tuesday night, restaurant, no service. I'm in the kitchen with my help. The door opens at 5:30. In walk 6 people,
Yep.
and 2 people, and 4 people, and
And you have no staff.
no staff. I'm running between the kitchen, cooking and opening a bottle of wine and this. And I tell him, I have nobody, but you have to be patient. I'm going to make it happen. I did 36 dinners that night.
Wow.
I sent 14 people away, 50 dinner on a Tuesday night. When I was done, I sat down in the back of the kitchen and I cried like a little baby. And the next day I put the restaurant up for sale.
Wow.
It was ridiculous.
But that was your heart.
It was so ridiculous. I should have never opened that day. A wrong decision.
Yeah, but you know what?
It was
You
sad.
still.
I still feel it. I
But,
feel
but,
like
but, but listen, you just said something very powerful. You didn't have the staff, but you still did what you had to do to give the people a good
in
experience.
hindsight, I would say this was.
Of course, but people don't forget that. You know,
Yeah.
you might think people forget that, but people remember. You know, there's a reason that all these investors came and they ran to you and gave you the money right away for this Fritz and Franz, because they remember when you're passionate about something and you really do a good job and you really go above and beyond. That gets burned into people's memories.
Yeah, that's
you know,
true. I agree.
and what you've done, okay, over the last 30, 40 years in this business in Miami, obviously has made a footprint, right? And that's all, and we kind of get to where we are now with Fritz and Franz, right? So you opened this thing when? When did you? How did you call it Fritz and Franz? By the way, where'd that name come
Excellent question.
from? Yeah, I'm curious. I was
Right.
like, where'd it come from?
I know I'm going to do a beer house, right?
yeah,
And I know from past history, Harald's in Miami, and I didn't want to call it Harald's Beer House because they're all going to ask for me.
yeah,
And I don't want to do that anymore.
right,
I want to do this not where my stamp is on every day, every
Right,
plate.
right.
I want to make it
make it about someone
casual,
else.
right?
Right.
So we need a name which clicks and they don't ask. I didn't want to call it Alpine Beer House or Munich. I didn't want to call it that. I need something different. So I'm driving on US 1 and I'm saying, what can I give what puts a smile on the people with the name Beer House? Beer is automatisch German, but it could be English, right? I do need a German name. So I think of Arnold Schwarzenegger. I think of Saturday Night Live. We're going to pump you up. I'm Hans and I'm Franz. Bingo! There's a smile on your face, right?
Yes.
And I realized
It was Hans and Franz.
Hans and Franz.
Yes.
So I know
I used to love that skit.
NBC can go after me if I call it Hans and Franz.
Right.
Right. So I name it Fritz and Franz.
Oh, that's where it came from?
That's where it came from.
That's Shay, that's pretty incredible, right?
Right? Brilliant idea today. It was difficult because Fritz and Franz, the Germans, of course, where is Fritz? Who is Franz? And I tell them I'm both, right? but yeah, it puts a smile on every American when I say
We are
Fritz
here
and
to
Franz.
pump
Saturday-
you up.
Yeah, pump you up. I'm going to pump you up. It's true, right? It's
was the
perfect.
best, yeah.
After so many years. And then I also saw difficult Fritz Franz Bierhaus, but Arnold Schwarzenegger was accepted in California, the name. And it's very difficult to pronounce, right?
Let me ask you, over the years, have you had celebrities come into your beer house?
Yeah, actually, had a lot.
Like who?
A lot. We had the Austrian national team.
The football team.
Yeah, we had they're not the football team, the ski team.
The ski team.
Much famous, much famous.
They came to your
Yeah,
to your
we had-
restaurant?
when there was a FIS Congress in Miami
Okay.
in 1994. It was right when we opened up Fritz Franz Bierhaus. They had, and the Austrian delegation was here. There were a lot of Tony Seiler, Hansi Hinterseher, Hansi Inauer, all these famous Austrian guys. Not so much American famous, but the famous Austrian. You want to know where I meet American famous people?
Yeah.
In Aspen, Colorado.
Really?
Because one day I go skiing to Aspen, was 2008, and why not open a beer house in Aspen, Colorado? I like skiing.
Right.
It's kind of like Austrian. It's perfect.
right.
Fits itself. So I go out there and I look for a place and I find Wiener Stube. So I go inside the Wiener Stube. My feet stuck to the carpet, and I'm like, this is not right. This needs to be changed. So I talked to the owner and said, listen, why are you not open for dinner? I wanted to say, how come it's so dirty here? I said, why are you not open for dinner? Why is this place Austrian? He said, I'm a British bicycle mechanic, and my wife worked here as a waitress, and she got the restaurant.
So you didn't open a restaurant in Aspen?
I did.
You did?
I did. That specific restaurant. So Wiener Stube. So I said, how about you and I partner up? I have a restaurant in Miami. Why don't you come down, look at the restaurant? If you like, we partner up. And I'm going to be, when I make this Austrian restaurant again. He loved the idea. And I realized his wife was not really keen on it. She ran her own show. So her name was Laura. I said, Kevin, come to Miami with Laura, check it out.
Right.
So
Okay.
they come back, excellent idea. Come to Aspen, let's do this. And I said, okay, here this is how we do it. I bring $50,000, and I'm going to be 20% partner of the Wiener Stube in Aspen, right? But I control the daily business operation. And I told Kevin, I don't want Laura in it. Because Laura and I didn't agree on the concept.
Yeah.
Laura and I, she didn't know the Austrian
Yeah,
thing, and I
yeah.
do. I play classical music in the evening. She played the radio from
Right.
country music.
Yeah, it just didn't
want to do it. But
Right.
they were famous for breakfast.
Right.
Wiener Stube was the most famous place in breakfast in Aspen.
In Aspen.
They did 1,000 breakfast on a Sunday in the wintertime.
Amazing.
Amazing. So I go to Aspen, put my $50,000, new carpet, new chairs, new tabletops, new paint job, made everything Austrian looking. I start working, right? Who is in the restaurant? Laura. Changing everything back to the way it was.
Yeah.
I said, Laura, please keep the classical music. This is my concept. Here's the menu, blah, blah, blah. So she leaves. Next morning, I look at the refrigerator. This is 2 days I'm into this work with this Mexican chef. I said, we cannot sell this no more.
Right.
This is bad. This is bad. Throw it out, throw it out.
So
I throw out a lot of shit. I try to teach the chefs breakfast and lunch and all this. They refine the menu.
Did it work or
Laura
not?
calls these guys, leave the restaurant, leave Harald alone. So I'm all alone doing breakfast. And to breakfast, forget it. We do the breakfast. I can make a couple eggs. I do the lunch. And then I'm going to sit down with Laura and Kevin. And they tell me this is not going to work after 1 week. So,
That's it.
and I made the contract before. I said, look, I come to Aspen. I give you the $50,000 for the restaurant, not for me. I work it. If you don't like it, you give me my $50,000 back because it's in the restaurant anyhow. And I leave. Nothing for work, nothing for traveling. It didn't work. It's
That's
fine.
it. It happens,
If
right?
I leave the restaurant, I lose the 50,000, and we shake hands and it's done, right? We're not going to give you the money back. Laura. I said, listen, I'm going up to Wyoming. I'll be back in a week. I want my money.
Right.
Okay, I come back. Where's my money? We're not going to give you a penny. I said, Kevin, what's going on? Well, Laura said we're not going to give you a dollar.
Oh, boy.
I said, this is the wrong decision. So I go to Miami. 2 days later, I get a call. They're selling the Wiener Stube. I said, what do you mean they're selling the Wiener Stube? Well, they're selling it back to the landlord for $125,000. I said, are they stupid? Eh? If they give me the 50,000, I would have been. So I'm fly to Aspen. I talked to the landlord. I said, look, I'm 20% of the owner. They cannot pay it back to you, right? They
So what
can't.
happens?
So I'm going to hire a lawyer in Aspen, actually in Snowmass. I talked to the lawyer the situation. He said, okay, what do you want to do? I said, I want to sue them for $485,000. Why so much? I said, the $50,000, the travel, the expenses. I worked almost 3 weeks, emotional stress, and whatever you can pile on.
Yeah, yeah.
So he said, good idea. So we hand in the lawsuit. Kevin calls me, Harald, can we meet? I said, of course, Kevin, can we meet?
It sucks that you have to go there sometimes, you know? It's
yeah.
when you get
So
the
I
lawyers
said,
involved.
Kevin, what's the story? What are we going to do? I said, well, would you pull back the lawsuit if we give you the restaurant? I said, absolutely, done. We shook hands and that was it. I went to the landlord who likes me because he liked that I cleaned it up when I cooked well.
Yeah, you took
and
care
I
of
talked
the
to the
place.
landlord and said, look, I'm going to take over the restaurant. And what's the rent? $15,000 a month. Done. Signed the contract. But we only could do it year to year because that location was in a major lawsuit involved, and it's at the state of Florida, state of Colorado Supreme Court right now. And everybody who had talked to told me it's going to be there 5 years. Nothing's going to happen. So he signed the 1-year contract. And Andy Stern was the owner of the property, and he sued the city of Aspen because they promised him that he can build a 4-story building, and then they said, no, you only can build 3-story. So he sued the mayor, the commissioners, and the city, kind of like, and he won. At the end, he didn't win, but they settled.
Wow.
And after 3 years, they settled, and they told me, here, there's the check, take your Wiener Stube, get the hell out, it's going to be torn down. There was the agreement, year to year.
Wow.
But
So
that
that
was Aspen.
so
I loved it.
but no more.
No, I tried to look for another, but Aspen is like, you make money 5 months.
Okay, so when do you think Fritz and Franz was at its peak right now? Because I would say, I would argue,
Yeah.
I've been going to Fritz and Franz now for 20 years, and that place gets packed. I mean, World Cup time, thousands of people. Not just, forget this
Absolutely.
World Cup, the previous World Cups, 2022, 2018, 2014, 2010. Your place was the place to be. Champions League final, place to be.
We had the plaza.
Premier League games, the place to be.
Right.
Right? So when do you think Fritz and Franz was at its peak?
I think the peak was like with the last Oktoberfest. It was like 6 years ago. Yeah,
Okay.
2020.
2020.
I think there was
COVID, right before COVID.
Yeah, there was the peak.
Okay.
Okay. COVID, we did very well, I have to say. But then 21, 22, the problem started with the city. We
Talk
couldn't
about
have
that.
anyone-
Tell me about the problems. What happened? Like, because everything was good with the previous mayor, right?
Right.
So what happened? There was a change in guard, right? So who came in as mayor?
Well, I can't do. I think it was Don Slesnik.
Slesnik, yes.
Slesnik
Mayor
was
Slesnik.
in.
Okay.
Right. We did okay with Slesnik. He tapped the cake, and I don't know who was the mayor after Slesnik.
I'm not sure, but
Oh no, Jim Kaysen.
Okay.
Very good. Yeah, it was
Okay.
Jim Kaysen. We did very good. I think the problem really started with putting a noise ordinance on the Oktoberfest.
noise ordinance. So
Noise ordinance.
so that means you're making too much noise.
Yeah, 2019.
Okay.
They told our bands from Austria, and this was our 25th anniversary.
But when you say noise, if you look where Fritz and Franz is,
Yeah.
it's in the middle of a bunch of restaurants. So who are you disturbing?
Well, They call this residential neighborhood because we have a condo on the left and a condo on the right.
That's new.
So the city,
That's new.
City considers this a residential neighborhood.
Ah.
We were there way before.
Right.
But now they told us it's a residential neighborhood. Noise ordinance is in effect. You cannot be louder than 75 decibels, which is ridiculous. 75.
What is 7? I don't even know what 75
So if
decibels.
you and I talking loud, this is about 75 decibels.
Oh my God.
Sure. So the
That's
band,
crazy.
The bands play ziggy-zaggy,
Yeah.
people scream, everybody sing, have a good time. So they're putting the noise, they're putting the sound, a code enforcement officer across the street, 100 feet away, and they're measuring, and then they're on the phone, turn it down to the band, turn it down to the sound engineer, turn
How?
it down.
How?
When I go up to the person, and I tell him, and the code enforcement, fuck off.
Right.
I was really like, fuck off. I cannot run an Oktoberfest like this.
Right.
So
you had enforcement officers.
code enforcement officer across the
They
street,
would show up-
which we had to pay $56 an hour.
You were paying them.
Yeah.
Okay. So let me make sure. What about the Coral Gables police? Are they?
We hired
involved?
them all the time.
You hired them to make sure that
problem.
there was no. There was. You never heard of any disturbances at these
never.
things, right?
Every
Everybody's
event
just happy.
we had, we hired
Right.
police. Every event was run, and I was happy the police there because nobody fucks with the police.
Right. Of course.
Police officer, they laughed it.
Right.
We gave them something to eat. We gave them something to drink. And they liked it. We paid them. It's an off duty. We were happy. This
Right.
was a good thing to
Right,
have them.
right,
I
right.
had no problem. If I had a problem with a guy, I didn't do nothing. I called one of the officers and said, please, this gentleman wants to leave.
Right.
And if he didn't want to leave the guy, they arrested him.
Right.
So
very easy.
It was very
easy.
good. The code enforcement officer started with all the problems. So not the code enforcement, but the city who sent him. And at that time was also Peter Iglesias, the assistant manager at that time. And I had a run-in with him and said, you know what, this is bullshit. What are you guys
Did they
doing
come
to me?
to the restaurant ever and talk to you?
Yeah. No, they were on the street because of the code enforcement officer. The code enforcement officer called him and said, look, Harald is giving me a hard time. Because I told them, fuck off.
So okay. So
Right.
all right.
So that went-
in retrospect, when
That's
you
the
say
bad plan.
fuck off,
Yeah.
like, look,
Yeah, get lost.
I know, but like, could you have used other words instead of like fuck off?
You know, when I do this so long and I'm passionate about
I
this
get it,
event,
I get it.
I'm angry.
Right, but you also understand you have to sometimes play the game.
Yeah.
Right? There's a political game you
I
have
know,
to play.
I know.
It's trust me, I hate playing. I left corporate because I couldn't play the political
Right.
game.
Right.
But you do have to sometimes, if you got to find that's what I've learned. You got to find a way to manage a situation. Yeah, I got to deal with these corporate douchebags, but you know what? I got to find a way to make them happy so they let me do my thing. So obviously you said fuck off. They're like, we're going to make this guy's
Well,
life.
it didn't go well, of course.
Didn't
And
go
I
well.
think that started the whole problems.
Right.
And then the phone calls from that one lady who lives on 10 Aragon, called the mayor all the time, and the mayor gets angry and calls his director, say, what's going on?
So you had what we call a Karen.
Yes.
You'd be like, oh,
Yeah,
they're
yeah.
making noise again at Fritz and Franz. I can't sleep.
They're setting up for a weekend.
Right. Oh.
There was already. So this has started all the bad blood.
They shouldn't have put a condo there to fucking begin with.
Well, we told them move to the Everglades if we don't like it. We told them.
my God.
One day I invited
You told them to move to the Everglades?
I invited her and she got so pissed at me. So when they moved to the Everglades, there is bad blood going on for a long time.
Yeah,
So we stopped doing the Blues Fest.
Wow.
We stopped doing the Oktoberfest.
Okay.
This is all gone because of the code
As of
enforcement.
when? As of when?
6 years.
6 years ago was the last time you did Oktoberfest.
2019 was the last.
What a
Oktoberfest.
shame. What a shame. And like embarrassingly, I've never gone to your I've been to Oktoberfest. I've never gone to yours. I bet you I would have an
It was
amazing
fun.
time.
It was
I
a
bet
lot
you-
of fun. It was
yeah.
free to the people. You know?
It was free.
So
Wow.
I think that started everything, and then I think 4 years ago, started with the city's coming. You need to improve the restaurant. You need to do this. You need to do that. And
I mean, I've been to your restaurant many
Yeah.
times. It looks fine.
it was never really a problem. They just
No.
came up with new things. Okay,
Right.
New things.
They started making your life more difficult.
Yes,
Right.
I called it the harassment from the city side, making my life
Almost like
difficult.
saying, we want you out.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that what happened then in 2024. I get a letter in the mail in April which says they're not going to renew my lease.
Holy shit.
And I said, wait a minute, I have 6 months to tell you that I do want to continue. Well, you're not up to date with the code inside the restaurant.
Oh.
You have to renew all these things. I say, I have to do nothing. This is all up to date. I'm running an operation. I have an occupation license. And then I go to this letter to the mayor and say, Mr. Mayor,
Who's the mayor
Lago,
then? Vince Lago. Okay.
Did
I
you-
met Vince Lago actually.
Did you
at an
write
event.
this letter? He said no. I said, do you know about this letter? He said no. I said, who did it? Did the city manager write this letter? So then I realized he's totally ignoring me. He's not taking me serious.
Well, is he totally ignoring you, or maybe he doesn't know? Maybe he didn't know.
No, he did.
He did know.
Look,
Okay.
I'm 100% sure this came from him.
Okay. Got it.
100%
Got
sure.
it. Okay. Fair
Because
enough.
the mayor doesn't know that this official city letter came from the city, right? And I always say, I had 100 different landlords. Once you have the city, every director is your landlord. Every assistant manager, every manager, every mayor, every commissioner is your landlord.
Right. So you knew everybody.
So they know.
Right.
And I had very good relationship with the city until that point, until the code enforcement officer with the noise. So I got him, and I see the mayor is totally ignoring me in the office. He's sitting one way, and I sit this way. I asked him at one point, Mr. Mayor, are you listening to me? Because this is I'm concerned. So then I go to some of the Commissioner Castro, Commissioner Ariel Fernandez, and Commissioner
you go to the meetings?
Kirk. I'm meeting with all of them.
Are you bringing people to the meetings?
No, myself.
Just yourself.
I want to find out
What's wrong?
what's the story with this letter,
Right.
and then who wrote this letter,
Right.
and why does the city want me out?
Right.
Right. So then I start the campaign. Right. I'm like, why am I? And then I hire an attorney, and the attorney meets with the assistant, with the director of development, Saida Sardinias was her name. And apparently she tells my attorney at that time that our restaurant does not fit into the city of Coral Gables, meaning
cow.
we are not good enough. And he tells me this. And I print this out and put it in the door. This is what she said. Sorry about that. This is good. We have to cut this out. Sorry. So I'm really getting pissed now because obviously they're all lying about this. And then they come back on, this was the story when Satchmo, I didn't pay rent anymore because they closed off the streets, left and right with the construction. We lost our business basically. I stopped paying rent and the city lost my door. And then we settled with the city and everything was paid. We did not owe them any money at all. It was 1990.
What year was this?
1997 or 1996, something like this. So everything was paid over the years. Every lawsuit, there was no lawsuit, but there was a settlement done because I didn't pay the rent for half a year. But eventually we paid everything the city wants us to pay, and we moved forward with a new contract.
Okay.
In 2024, when this came up, that the city doesn't want to, they told the media that we owed them money, that we didn't pay the money to the city, that our restaurant is not up to code. They said a lot of lies
It was
on
all
TV.
lies.
So we told our story on TV, and we printed T-shirts say "Keep Fritz Franz Bierhaus in Coral Gables," and about 100 people showed up for the city commission meeting. And I know, with meeting with the Vice Mayor Anderson, with Kurdijk, with Ariel Fernandez, and with Melissa Castro, I had 2-3 people on my side who wanted Fritz Franz Bierhaus to stay. The mayor, Vince Lago, and Rhonda Anderson did the restaurant not to stay. But there was 3-2.
Right.
And then they had to put it to a vote eventually during a city commission meeting. I made my case, and then my 3 commissioners who were on my side voted, and then there was 3-2 to vote that they continue with the new lease for me. And I had to pay more money. Yes, we agreed on everything. And it was until my last day, the city let me wait to actually sit down and sign a new 5-year lease.
Wow.
5 + 5. But I know that the mayor was extremely unhappy about the situation.
Sure.
Okay. And
Did you
now,
let me ask you, did you ever reach out to the mayor yourself
Yes.
and say, can't you and I meet and talk this out?
Yes, I did.
And he didn't?
No.
Okay.
There was no. There was from beginning on this, after the initial first meeting when I asked him, did you write this? And I know he lied to me because he had something to do with the city manager,
Yeah.
Peter Iglesias, and him. They were in one. And then right after I got my lease, there was another city commission meeting where they were talking about firing Peter Iglesias, right? And I'm sitting there, my name is mentioned all the time. Fritz Franz Bierhaus was me. I didn't want to talk. It was not me to decide if the manager should be fired or not.
Like, what
But
did you have to do with
Franz
that?
Bierhaus comes up all the
Right,
time.
right.
The situation with the beer house was resolved. And my friend tells me, Tom Welzer said next to me, said, don't say anything. Don't get up. I said, look, they're talking about Fritz Franz Bierhaus. So I got up and I went up and I spoke in front of the city commission.
Oh.
And I said, no, I was very calm and collect. And I said, listen, I'm here today not to tell you what you should do, to fire or not fire the city manager. But the city manager lied on TV about Fritz Franz Bierhaus. The city manager told everyone that I owed the city money. Now I'm going to show you something. There's $1, Mr. Manager. Do I owe you money? He didn't say anything. Mr. Manager, do I owe you money? Does Fritz Franz Bierhaus, does he owe you any money? He said, it's not my turn to talk. I'm asking you a question. Does Fritz Franz Bierhaus owe you any money?
And you're doing this publicly.
And this is national television.
Oh,
now.
my God.
Not national, but local television.
Holy shit.
And he says, no. I said, why would you guys lie on TV? Right? And then I said to the commissioners, ladies and gentlemen, it's not my turn to tell you what to do. But this gentleman there, city manager, did not do his job. And that was it for me. So I get up and I get out, and they're taking a break. Anderson, vice mayor, is behind me, and she tells me, you have no idea what you have just done.
Yep.
I said, look, I was trying to talk to you. You had your chance with me a meeting. You didn't give me the meeting. You didn't
Right.
want to know.
Right.
And now I told you again, I say it as it is. I tell what I think, and I tell the truth. I don't have to make stories up.
Which is, in the end of
So,
the day, that's all we have is
they
the truth.
fired
The
the
truth will
manager.
set you free.
They fired the manager.
They fired him.
The same commission meeting. He had to back up and left. The new manager was the guy who negotiated the new lease with it. Alberto was a great, nice guy. I was happy that I had the chance because he came to the restaurant. He said, I don't see anything wrong here.
Right.
Because the mayor said, I have cracks in the floor. I need to put in a new floor. I said, Mr. Mayor, a city hall has cracks all over. Why don't you fix your cracks and I fix my cracks?
Right. Wow.
I told him that at the
Yeah.
city commission meeting.
Wow.
And this is all these things. Don't give me anything which you know. This is bullshit, right?
Right.
So then, okay, new election. I support, of course, the new commissioner, and he didn't win. I mean, I supported Tom Welz, and Richard Lara won. So city commission was now 3-2 against Fritz Franz Bierhaus.
Didn't Kirk Menendez run for mayor? Do
I
you know
mean-
him? Kirk Menendez?
Yeah, he ran for mayor
And he-
against Lago, and he
Against
lost.
Lago. Yeah. So Menendez was actually, he was very helpful for my soccer team.
Yeah.
He actually, there was a famous guy named Chris Bart Williams.
He was very good with the Coral Gables Youth Center.
Yeah, I thought he was going to win. I actually voted for him.
I thought he's going to win too, but
Yeah.
he didn't. So
Yeah.
Lago won, and Richard Lara, which is a friend of Lago, won as well. So we realized we have 3-2, right, against us. There was like now 2 years we didn't do any. I said, we're not going to do anything wrong. We're not
We're
going to
gonna
do any
behave.
events. We're
Right.
going to stay cool. We did the European soccer 2 years ago and the Copa America, where the city tried to tell us what to do and what not to do. Then Vice Mayor Anderson came around and said, look, let Harald do his events. And that was the end of it.
Right.
There was no more talk about the city. And
So what happened? So where did the shit hit the fan?
Well, now the shit hits the fan like this, okay? In February this year, I come back from Austria and I'm getting ready for the World Cup, right? Big event, 2026, World Cup in America,
Huge.
Miami host city.
Huge.
This is our town to shine, right?
Right.
So February, I hand in the application. We want to do basically 29 days plus a setup for the World Cup.
All people could come watch the games.
Right, and the thing is,
Oh,
it's a
but
lot
now
of
you
days.
got a lot of condos around
It's
there.
a lot of days. And the problem is, once we set up the plaza, it's very difficult to break it down.
Right.
So I go for the 29 days on it, selected
keep the
days.
tents up.
But keep everything up, keep it
Yeah,
up like
yeah,
this.
yeah.
And the first city commission meeting, they tell me, this is out of control. You have no detailed plan. 29 days, are you crazy? We cannot give the plaza away for such a long
It's
time.
the World Cup.
Yeah. So I tell them, look, these are important games. So come back, it's deferred, right? This was now May 5th.
Wow.
Already. The
World
reason,
Cup is starting in
the
June.
reason it took so long, because the city said you cannot go in front of the commission without the approval from FIFA. And FIFA put out a new rule that if you have a public viewing event, and now I'm telling you how big this rule is, if you have in here one TV and show a soccer game and one of your guests is watching, you're supposed to have a license from FIFA.
Really?
Yes, this is it's written in the law.
Who the hell has that?
Yeah.
Nobody.
Private home is not affected.
But
hair
a business?
Hair salons, doctor's
So
office, airports.
wait. So you're telling me the little shitty restaurant that's showing a World
Yes.
Cup match
Yes.
it's to pay FIFA a fee
It's
for a
supposed to
license?
pay FIFA
oh,
a
what
license.
a crock of
Yeah, I'm
shit
going to
that
show
is.
you
Please
the
show me
permit
that.
application. And not only America, it's all over the world because it asks you which country.
So FIFA is trying to make money on businesses by
FIFA
showing
is
the
making
games.
money. So I'm applying for the permit from FIFA, which never in 24 years, we never had it. This
No.
is the first time they're doing this. First time they're doing this. And I tell you, you read the application, you get scared if you don't have a permit when you show the game because they
What are they
going
going to do? What are they going to, like, FIFA officials are going to come in and shut you down?
They have thousands of lawyers. They're going to threaten you. But this is what happened. So I had to wait. And FIFA's down the street. And FIFA people come to my restaurant, the employees. So I said, please, you guys need to help me. I need the permit in order to go in front of the city commission, right? So I told events.
The World Cup is in
Yes.
fucking Miami.
So I told Fred at the event committee, Fred, listen, let's do this. Let's go in front of the commission. Let's get the resolution that I can do the permit on the plaza with the idea that when FIFA gets my permit, we're okay to do it. If I never get the permit from FIFA, obviously then the resolution is no good either. And they said, no, we have to wait until. And then they decided, okay, one day we need to do it now because time is running out. Right?
Where
So-
the hell is FIFA headquarters? I mean, there's a Miami
Down the
location.
street.
No, but the
us.
global, is it in Miami?
The headquarters for South Florida, I think. Yeah.
So they could approve it
They have an
locally.
office. They have 300 employees there.
So they could approve it, right? Your
So
permit.
the application is actually went to New York. The office
Okay.
for public viewing is in New York.
Okay.
So I'm like calling everyone and say, please help me. I need to go in front of the commission with this. So finally I get an email that they've been approved. This was before
FIFA
me.
approved you.
$1,000.
$1,000.
$1,000. I paid, done.
Okay, so just so I understand, any business has to pay $1,000.
I don't know how
FIFA.
much, but we
Okay.
paid $1,000.
Oh, okay.
But depends how many. But
Okay.
the application is from 1,000 to 1,000 people, and then from 1,001 to 2,000 people, and 2,001 to 3,000 or 5,000 people. This
the
is
fee
the
goes
permit.
up.
Mine was the lowest one because I have 500 people
Right.
on the average.
Right.
So I got my permit, right? So we are in the get ready for the city commission meeting, right?
Which is when?
it was May 5th.
Day of my birthday, actually.
May
Yeah,
5th.
okay.
We have enough time,
Right.
okay? So I'm at the city commission at 9 in the morning because I go there early. On the way it went the last 24 years, mayor or one of the commissioners would see me sitting there, say, hey, Harald is here. Let's bring item H5 or whatever it was.
First.
Bring forward.
Right.
Harold needs to go-
Respect.
Harold
It's a
needs to go
respect
back to the
thing.
restaurant. We all know that. So
Yeah.
never a problem. Always, and there was
Wow.
always a consent agenda. Done. We know what he's doing. He does it by the book.
Yeah, yeah.
Never a problem.
Yeah.
So May 5th, I'm there at 9:30. I greet everybody, say hello to the commissioners. And so mayor walks by me but doesn't look at me too much. So, okay, no problem. I'm here to get my permit for the plaza. So, 1:30, the mayor, they're taking a break, right? Mayor walks by me. I get up. I shake his hand. I say, good afternoon, Mr. Mayor. He says to me, what are you here for? Another discount? Well, and I'm like, no, I'm not here for a discount. I'm here for the permit for the plaza. We're trying to get this done. He said, you shoved it down my throat. That's what he said to me.
The mayor.
You shoved it down my throat. The mayor.
Holy shit.
That's all he said. And he walked away. And I knew exactly what he meant. That 2 years ago, that he could not keep me out of that location.
This was his
sitting in
chance.
his stomach for 2 years. At that moment, I was thinking, why am I wasting my time here today? I shouldn't even be here because this is not going to go well. So I leave. And I follow it on TV. And then I realized look, it's getting close to 5 o'clock, 3 o'clock. So let me go back to City Hall with the office and let me sit there. I want to be there for that, my agenda coming up. I don't want to miss it. Well, it gets to 5:15. 5 p.m. already passed. So finally, second last item on the agenda.
Is you.
I'm getting there, right? So I get up.
Wow.
I do my speech.
This is crazy.
I do my thing, and I say, look, I know it's a lot of days, but we're not going to use the plaza every day. We don't turn on the big screen every day. We just want to have the setup so we don't have to break it down, okay? I want to do the 29 days plaza setup, but we probably only
And you were going to
do,
pay for everything?
Yeah.
Well,
At that time, on May 5th, I didn't even know that they had raised the price for the off-duty police officer, right? But this is May 5th. So I'm like, okay, this is what I like to do. And then the mayor starts dissecting my plan on safety issue, noise issue, all these kind of things which are like, wait a minute, we have done this 24 years. We're doing it by the book. So, and he gets Anderson and Richard Lara to say, okay, we're all going to defer it for next meeting. And I should come with a detailed plan, how I'm going to run this, how I'm going to do this, what's the impact of the city. We have people coming from all over the world. We need to make sure this is done right. It's FIFA, FIFA, FIFA. And I'm like, what the fuck? People from all over the world are not going to come to Coral Gables because the FIFA office is there.
No,
They're not going to come to Coral Gables.
coming to watch
they go
the
to
match.
South Beach, they go to Hollywood Beach, they go
Right.
for Lauderdale Beach, and they go to the Hard Rock Stadium, and this is it. They're not going to come to Coral Gables. Maybe to one of the restaurants, yes.
Right,
But
right.
they're not coming an impact.
Right.
So, okay, I have to redo my plan. Too many days. So I go back, another events meeting, and I have a plan. Said, listen, I cut my days down already. So 26 games, 20 days, right? Basically, we
so you went from 29 to 20.
yeah. So we're starting July 3rd and cut out all the groups game. So there's articles in the paper. How can you do that? Group stage is important to see the difference of
It
nationality,
really is. It
right?
really is.
So
yeah.
I'm going back to the plan. Okay, so look, Fred, we're having this meeting. Fred, 20 days only, right? And we're starting with 26 games, right? So because the July 3rd didn't work for us either too good, right?
Yeah.
So 20 days, which is basically nothing for a World Cup. We used to do 30 days, 32
Right,
days,
right,
right? And 26 games.
And what did they say?
And then all of a sudden I come up, okay, impact fee for the police officer is raised from $68 to $100, right? A sergeant, $120. And now we need fire department there. So that's 2 officers at every game, $680 a game. So we're ending up with like $70,000 for these 20 days. And I'm like, this is ridiculous.
So you got to pay $70K
Right?
just to get those 20
But this
days.
is something, okay, if we have to pay this, we have to pay. We kind of find out with something.
Right.
So this was not the big issue.
Right.
The big issue was the 20 days. And then I get home after this Wednesday events meeting, and I get one call after the other. They all want to come for the German game, for the USA games. So I add, Plan B was already with Fred going to the commission. Before the commission meeting, I'm adding 3 USA games and 3 German games. So 6 more games,
Okay.
right? To Plan B. So this is now Plan C for the people because they're calling me like, we want to come, we're coming, this is it. And I go to Rhonda Anderson on a Friday afternoon, still I say, Rhonda, Vice Mayor Anderson, we need to add these 6 games because we're going to be run over with people. People going to come, right? They want to see USA at home game. And she's like,
Of course.
yeah, not the 9 p.m. maybe, but the other time I understand. And she's kind of like lukewarm, and I feel like, what, this is going to be positive. She's going to help me at the city commission to talk about this, right? Okay. Now
What?
we're going to go to the city commission on May 19th.
Wow. So you're like literally 3 weeks,
Yeah.
less than 3 weeks from
Right.
the World Cup. That's cutting it
So
way
May
too
19th,
close.
City Commission. On the mayor is all up in arms that I added the 6 games, right? But the thing is, I wasn't even there anymore because I was there in the morning and I got this vibe, this is not a good idea. So I had the speech prepared. You shoved it down my throat. I wanted to blow it all up, right?
Yeah.
I was ready to do that. So I said, okay, let me talk to an attorney. I'm on the hand. Amanda, please come. This was a Thursday. This was a Monday before the commission meeting. I hired her. I said, please, I have the speech prepared. What do you think? I'm going. I want you to be next to me, just standing next to me.
Sure.
Because I have problem hearing and to make sure. So she said, the speech, maybe you shouldn't do it, right?
Yeah.
Let me help you with that.
Take
And
out the shove down my
I
throat.
told her, I said, look, Amanda, I don't even want to be there. I don't want to look these people in the eye anymore.
Right.
I don't feel good.
You're tired.
And she said, you don't
I mean,
need
you're
to.
67 years old, man.
She
I
said,
mean,
you
you've
don't
been
need
through
to
a lot.
go. I said, I don't need to go. I don't go. Why don't you go? You can negotiate a power of attorney, whatever you need. You do it, and you negotiate this 20 days plus the 6 days if you can. The money, the 70,000, I told her, we can talk about it. I would agree to do it if we get the other stuff. So do it. And I'm watching this on TV now. 5:15. Amanda is also at 5 o'clock. They're letting her wait.
Okay.
Even though usually attorneys they don't let wait.
Right.
The mayor let her wait. Right?
Wow.
And she gets up and makes a case for me, and he shuts her down immediately. And then Richard Lara is trying to, do you have authority to speak for Harald? And why isn't he here?
Right.
Right? I should have been there, but I told her, fuck off. But
I think you were just exhausted from
Yeah, I
the
was.
process. It's normal. Anybody would be.
I was totally exhausted.
Yeah.
So I realized this is not going well either. And I'm like, what? And I text Amanda, said, text them, it's okay with the 70,000. We agree with that. But we do need we did the USA opening game. Paraguay at 9 p.m. at night, Friday.
Yeah, right.
The people are going to go out on Friday night.
Of course.
They're going to watch this game. It's the first game of the World Cup.
Of course.
For USA. So I text her, said, try to get. So the mayor, of course, deferred. And then Anderson, where I hoped that she would help me, she said, oh, I didn't do my homework. So go back to the drawing board, come up with a detailed plan. And then Melissa Carr said, look, there is his detailed plan. Plan B and Plan C. That's a detailed plan, right? And the mayor just shut it down and said, look, I want Harald to meet the people from Fritz Franz to meet with the police chief and the fire chief on the workout impact plan until, and then the fire chief said, well, we don't have enough people. On the 4th of July, we have nobody to give to the beer house, so he couldn't even do the game. And this was all going nowhere.
Right.
Right? So Amanda comes to the beer house, and I said, you know what, I saw it. She said, you go to the meeting tomorrow and you work this out. And I didn't say nothing. So next morning, I get a call. I get an email from the mayor, from the city. When is the meeting going to be? When I'm going to come to the meeting? Amanda, please go to the meeting. Tell him when. And I tell Amanda, I'm not going. And I already knew. At that time, the next day, it was the May 20th, I already knew. This is it. Because I am not going on my knees. I'm not kissing his ring. I'm not trying to beg him for something I've done for 24 years right.
Okay.
The detailed plan is my experience, right? I know how to do it. We always hired the cops after the city commission made the resolution, said, okay, you can do it. Now meet with the police and talk about how many you need. It was always this way, never before. Right?
So what did you do?
So the mayor said, I need to meet with the police first before they can approve
I get it.
So I wait one more day,
Okay.
right? The day after the commission meeting, I didn't do nothing. Amanda called me 3 times, please, Harald, go. I said, no, I'm not going. That's it. It's over. So next morning, I get another email from the mayor. Has the council for Fritz and Franz Bierhaus responded about the meeting, which I have asked multiple times, and he copied I think 40 people in the city hall. Why? He wants to cover his back.
Of course.
He wants to cover his ass.
Yeah.
So I'm writing back, Mayor Lago, the train has left the station. I am officially withdrawing the application for the use of the plaza.
Wow.
There was you know what happened then?
What?
My stress was gone. I felt relief. I felt energized like 26 years ago when I had to move the capo into Fritz Franz Bierhaus. I felt the same kind of feeling. I had to make a decision, the right decision for myself.
Yeah. Yeah.
And not make the wrong decision because
Right.
I think about it's nothing to do with money anymore at that point.
No.
Right?
It's not about
nothing to do with money. And I was like,
And,
wow,
you know, there's a
I feel
saying-
great. I feel now I'm in charge of the plaza
Right.
because I pulled the plug. Now the city cannot tell me when to do it, what to do, right? I'm in charge of the beer house plaza. And I know this is a shitstorm coming from the people, the public. The public opinion is stronger than you believe. 2 years ago, we won because the public spoke up and said, we want Fritz Franz Bierhaus to stay. And this time when I pulled the plug, I said, okay, we probably going to make a lot or less money, but we have no more headache. And I swore the city is not going to get 1 penny from the $70,000, not 1 cent. And the public will decide now whose decision it was that it got to that point.
Yeah.
And the city hall is probably going to talk, why did we come to this point that this is not working out?
Yeah.
Right?
When it's done, when it's happened for so many years.
Right? And then I wrote in one article, and I wrote it in the email, Mr. Mayor, Vice Mayor Anderson, and Lara, I am not your slave, I'm not your puppet, and I'm not going to go on my knees to beg for something I had fun doing, and you took my energy. You took my energy, you took my fun.
Right.
And this business is fucking strong and difficult enough.
It's-
and now you're
it's
taking
very
the
difficult.
fun away from setting this up.
Right.
I'm here since February talking about the World Cup.
Right.
Right?
Right.
And now you're taking this all away from me
Right. Right.
because of your pettiness.
So you have the biggest event in the world coming to Miami,
Yeah.
and it sounds like the city government can't really get their act together to allow you to do what you've been doing best
Right, what I know how to do.
for well over 3 decades. So now it's basically up to the people
Yeah.
to
Well, I went to
decide.
this way because the articles are out there. Everybody's writing. The community paper,
Right.
there are podcasts everywhere. I talked to CBS, NBC,
yeah, you were
ABC.
on you were on
I'm
Channel
everywhere.
7 yesterday.
People,
right? Yeah.
people are coming and asking me questions, and like I said, Joe, I say it as I see it, and I don't have to create a story.
Yeah.
I tell you how it is.
Amen.
And I
the
say
way
it,
you should do it.
I'm not politically correct, maybe, but
Right.
I say it as it is. I'm
Right,
honest. I
right.
speak from the heart.
Yes.
And
And
now
people
I'm at this-
appreciate that. I can tell you.
I think so too. Yeah.
Yeah,
And now I'm at the point that I decided 2 weeks ago because the people gonna be left out there. The people actually not getting this event like they used to be. Come with the family, with the neighbors, mingle.
Yeah, they're going to be
Everybody
roasting.
dresses up.
They're going to be roasting in the street without a tent
Yeah.
in the hot sun
Yeah.
because Coral Gables wouldn't approve your tents.
Yeah, no, there was no tent for this one. We always the plaza is beautiful with the palms.
Yeah.
The point is that there is no big screen and no plaza.
But
use.
that's what it's about.
Yeah.
It's that community, people getting together,
Right.
watching their Team USA win. I believe that we can win. You know, that spirit.
Exactly.
You know, for that USA game.
Yeah.
You know, forget all the games are great.
Yeah.
You know, but when you can come in as a community together and you sit there and you could scream and cheer and you hug strangers because you're
Yeah,
cheering for
exactly.
your country.
Exactly.
You know, for this this
The
moment.
emotions.
The dreams that
Yeah.
people have are going to be in this World Cup.
Yeah.
And they can't enjoy it the way they want to.
Right.
That's just a damn shame.
Yeah. And it's like not just because of a couple of years ago. This is built over 24 years.
Yeah.
FIFA would not be in Coral Gables, have an office
If
if,
it
we
wasn't
wouldn't have
for that.
started
If
FIFA in 1994.
Correct.
Right? They didn't know where Coral Gables is, for crying out loud. And the mayor thinks he brought the FIFA office to Coral Gables. Bullshit, he didn't.
Right.
He's just happy to be the mayor at the same time
Right.
when FIFA is in town.
Wow.
And the other thing is I decided, okay, the people are going to be left out in this case. I'm going to be okay. Because for me, it's not so much about the money anymore.
No.
We're going to do fine. We can control it.
Right.
And as we saw it on Saturday, and you were there with the game, Arsenal PSG.
It was amazing.
We could have done a better job by having more security, but we're going to get this done before next Friday.
Well, let me tell you, I went to the UEFA Champions League final last Saturday. I went with my daughter, who is not even a soccer fan, and I said, I forgot actually it was a Champions League final. My son's like, "Are you watching it?" I'm like, "No, let me run to Fritz." So I park the car, I run to Fritz. I see there's crowds everywhere watching the game, and I'm like, my son comes up to me, Joey, and he's like, "Hey, what are you doing?" I'm like, "You guys want some pretzels?" I was like, "Let me go get you guys some." The first thing that came to my mind, I run, I find the hottest lady that's working there. You know, they're all in their outfits. I'm like, "Can you please order me some pretzels and get me a nice blonde beer?" You know, the what's the main beer? The Bitburger. The Bitburger. I was like, "Get me a beer, please, and get me 3 delicious warm pretzels." And I'm like, "And where's the owner?" And I said to her, she's like, "Why?" I'm like, "I have an idea." And she runs and she goes, but she knew like I wasn't just like the average guy.
Yeah.
So she goes and people are looking around and I'm like, they're like, "Who is this guy?" And I'm like, "Don't worry about it. Just I'm ordering pretzels." We're all watching the game. I text Joey and I text my daughter. I'm like, "Get over here right now." And they're like, "Why?" I'm like, "Just trust me. Just come." So then you come out. And then I'm like, "And you remember me?" And I'm like, "Remember me?" And he's like, "Yeah." And then you're like, "Let's come out here." And then I tell you, I have this, I'm like, "Listen, I've kind of heard what's going on with the city. I wasn't really paying attention. I've heard it through the grapevine." I'm like, "Do you know I have a podcast?" I was like, "You have to come on my show." I said, "I've been coming here for 20 years. This is a story.
Yeah.
The world needs to know this.
Yeah, I agree.
This is not a story just for Coral Gables
No.
or for Miami.
Yeah.
This is a story for the world." And the reason I say that is because you're a small business, okay? You have built something. You've built a culture. You've built an identity here. Fritz and Franz is an identity in Miami, okay? I have a soccer team, Dade County. We are trying to build an identity with our club. I relate to your story more than you can understand. That has to be preserved. People have to fight for that. And people today are so lazy. Even like when I put the Save Fritz, I was telling everybody, write Save Fritz. Even look, I even said to you, why haven't you put it as a collaboration on your thing? I have been screaming to people, put Save Fritz. Everyone's like, "Man, who's this nut with the Save Fritz?" I'm like, "No, you don't understand the history of this place." And I hope after this podcast, everyone starts writing Save Fritz because it should be saved.
Yeah.
You've done something amazing.
But, in a way, Fritz doesn't need saving. I want to put this out. 2 years ago, yes, we needed the saving, and they did. We saved Fritz and Franz Bierhaus. We are in a very, very good place.
I know you are. I know you are.
The reason I put for sale, and it is officially up for sale, is because of the May 19th commission meeting. The same evening, I called the realtor, "Let's put it up for sale. Put it together, it's for sale." Why? I do no longer wish to talk to the city commission anymore or to the mayor. I do no longer wish to talk to my landlord. My landlord is interfering with my business.
Yeah.
And it's obvious. And the other thing is, at the same day I decided I want Mayor Winslager to resign. I want him to resign because this is nothing but petty of him. This is personal. Him and me. He's unhappy. He didn't get the place 2 years ago. Maybe he promised this place already to somebody else, and it didn't work out because I was fighting for it. But you lost 2 years ago, and you're going to lose again. So I would like you to resign. And why do I want you to resign? Because I do want to do the Plaza event for the people. And I said, if he resigns, I'll do the Plaza. I go back to the city commission. I ask for the application. It will take me a week to put it all together, and we get this done. But I'm not going to do it if Mr. Winslager doesn't resign. And I instead confirm that we're going to do a fantastic event. Even without the Plaza, we can manage this. We did it before. We did it last Saturday. We can do it. It's just less people. Some people are going to walk away upset not having the big Plaza set up, which they should be. But please be upset at the city of Coral Gables. Please be upset with the mayor, because this is pity that he's doing all this and deferring or not working with me over the last months or basically since February and get this done. This is poorly vindictive, this is a vengeance, and this is all I have to say about that. But looking forward, positive, energetic, and we're going to get this done. And we have very, very big support, not only Coral Gables. And I tell you, Joe, I don't know if you've seen it, the Tampa Bay Times wrote this iconic Florida restaurant. It honored me to be iconic. Joe Stonecrab, Sloppy Joe's.
I read it.
These are iconic places. And to call Fritz Franz Bierhaus iconic, maybe somebody give the article to the mayor, or maybe he comes to his senses and say, well, what the hell are we doing with this guy? We should have worked with Harald. Why are we not working together? Why is the city paying the police and the fire department, make sure everything is safe, right? But not fighting me on every detailed plan. You know what? I can show you where your detailed plan is. 24 years experience.
Well, Harald, let me just leave you with this, because obviously this was a long podcast. There was a lot of things I wanted to ask you that I couldn't ask you, but for the respect of time and we could talk for hours. I'd love to maybe have you on eventually again.
I'd be glad to come back. Yes, we have a lot.
There's so much I haven't gotten to ask you, but this is such an important topic. But I want to leave you with this, because I always bring everything back to faith, okay? I am a believer in faith, okay? I believe in God. And I think in this kind of situation, all you can do, like you said, the moment you said, I'm canceling everything, I'm putting the building up for sale, what did you feel? Relief.
Relief.
You know what you did? You did what I call let go, let God. That's what you did.
Yep.
You're going to put it in God's hands, and God will fix this, because you can fight politics, you can fight all these things, you can get lawyers, you can get all these things, but in the end of the day, when you die, and when I die, when we all die, we can't bring any of the money with us.
The last shirt doesn't have a pocket.
Correct.
Right?
There's not I think Denzel, I always copy this from what Denzel Washington says. You never see a U-Haul on the back of a hearse. You can't bring your possessions with you. Think about it.
Exactly.
You can't bring your possessions.
Absolutely.
When you go for your judgment, it's just, was I a good person? Did I serve the people? Did I put others before me?
Yeah.
That is all that matters in the end. So the only thing I could say to you is let go and let God. And hopefully he will come in, intercede, and make this a win for the people.
Yeah.
So
I think that's where concerns me somewhat, because these are very loyal people, loyal customers of Fritz Franz Bierhaus, right? And when I see 24 years we're doing this, there were kids that were 3-4 years old, and they're 24 now.
Mine.
Or 28, right?
Mine.
And they are I was here with my dad when I was 4 or 5 years old.
Amen.
Right? We had a good time on the plaza.
Amen.
And that's not there. It's like taking away your park.
it's taking away part of your
right?
heart.
Yeah, exactly.
So people don't forget that. And
Oh,
life has a funny way of coming full circle.
Goes around, comes
So
around.
what goes around comes around. So I think that's the best thing that you could do.
Can I tell one more quick story?
Yeah.
What goes around
Yeah.
comes around. After the first job, La Paloma, when I left, I got a job at a restaurant in Key Biscayne in the Towers, which I later on took over on my own. And it was an Austrian owner, and was seasonal. And I said, Michael, what are we going to do in May when you shut down the restaurant? I need to go and find out a job in April,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And Michael tells me, don't worry, you're going to stay with me over the summer. We're going to do some catering.
Okay.
We're going to you don't have to look for a job, right? May comes around. Last day of the restaurant, open. He tells me, thank you very much. I don't have a job for you anymore.
Wow.
I said, Michael, you're Austrian. You told me I can stay.
Right.
Now it's the end of May. Now I need to find a job somewhere else, because this is not easy in May to find a job in Miami.
Yeah.
Right? And I was flabbergasted. I was really flabbergasted. So fast forward 10 years, Mozart Stube restaurant. I put an ad in the paper looking for Austrian or European chef, right? Who walks in the door? Michael.
Wow.
The guy I used to work before. The guy told me I can stay for the summer. The guy who told me on the last day we are fired.
Asking you for a job.
Asking me for a job.
Amen.
Amen. What goes around comes around, right?
It's
Great
100%.
story.
Oh my God.
Unbelievable story.
What a way to close this. So everybody, we may have to do a part 2 to this because I want to see what happens after this. I have a feeling it's going to get really interesting right now.
It's going to be great.
The World Cup starts. Who's your pick for the World Cup?
France is going to win it.
France?
Yeah. We're going to have the last 4 teams. It's France, Spain, England, and I still think Argentina is very good.
Okay. I'm going to do a wild card. I think Holland is going to win it this year. I think Holland's going to get it. Just my take. I could be wrong, but they're the dark horse. So, and of course, I'm rooting for Team USA. Yeah. I pray that we can win this thing, but and we're on home turf. So if Pulisic can get the troops together, and he can lead, and with Pochettino, maybe they're firing enough. I think they can make it to the quarterfinals.
I'm gonna send some from Austria. I'm gonna be very, very interesting to see how this team is doing.
Yes, yeah. Who's in their group?
We are the group with Argentina, Algeria, and Jordanian.
Oh, Jordan, you can win. Algeria.
Jordan is not bad.
Jordan's not bad.
But I believe that maybe
you'll get out of the group.
There's going to be a sensation against Argentina. A tie would be already great for us.
Yes.
But we'll see. But, this is why we are the German soccer bar, not the Austrian soccer bar.
Yeah. Well, it's going to be an exciting World Cup. And thanks, everybody, for tuning in. Long episode, but so much here to grab onto.
Don't forget about the croissant.
Don't forget, croissants aren't French. I'm going to get killed by the French now.